Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new edition of Friday Night WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Blade Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
What's up, man? A whole lot of wrestling. Too much wrestling. There's wrestling happening now, tomorrow, later. 24-hour wrestling. Get ready. A lot of wrestling.
Absolutely. We are pretty much in the midst of WrestleMania weekend, so there's going to be quite a lot going on in New Orleans, and there's going to be a lot that we're going to be talking about tonight. So stay tuned for that. We're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
Hola, everybody. We have wrestling then, now, forever. That's
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have a special guest tonight. We're joined by Mr. Gary A. Swaby. How's it going, Gary?
It's going good, man. It's a pleasure to finally be on this show. I want to warn everyone that I am now a casual, wrestling fan. So I only watch like the big pay-per-views and stuff like that. I don't watch every, Raw and SmackDown or any of the indie stuff at all. So yeah, my knowledge is a bit limited, but I know a lot about the past in wrestling.
And I also am aware that you are a huge Alexa Bliss fan, so I'm pretty sure you'll say something about her tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love Alexa.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So as for my other very good friend, Ricardo Negron, he actually just texted me now. He just landed in New Orleans, so I have no idea if he will be making an appearance tonight. It's possible. Adam said this is going to be a 12-hour podcast, although I don't think it's going to be that long. But yeah, we'll see if he shows up later on. But yes, as I've already mentioned, we definitely have a lot to get into tonight because we're going to be talking about our WrestleMania 34 predictions as well as our NXT TakeOver New Orleans predictions. But before we dive into all that stuff, I'm going to give the mic over to Dana and let her tell us about a lot of the news stories in wrestling that happened this week. And you're muted.
Sorry, I was waiting for your introduction, Adam, with your beep, beep, boop,
boop. There you go. No, beep, 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 boop. Because what I'm doing now is I'm opening up a spreadsheet. Because what I'm going to have is I'm going to write down our predictions. Because we never seem to do that. And we all like, yeah, I think I agreed to that. Yeah, I thought it was. So now I'm going to write it down. So that way when it's done, we could see who had the most predictions correct.
Oh, snap. Okay, so it was just announced that Cena has officially beat Brock Lesnar in money. Cena's earnings are up to $2 million over the previous year, and that has to do with a lot of his non-WWE income, which is on the rise. As you guys know, he went from doing a whole bunch of movies. He's doing a lot of commercials, voiceover acting. He was just announced for an upcoming animation project. Remember, he did the Oscar-nominated Ferdinand.
Oh, my kid, we were watching it earlier. My kids love it. My son loves Ferdinand because of the bull. He likes bull, horses, and stuff like that. So
it's a very adorable film. And also, he's been co-hosting with the Today Show and also with Hoda Lee with Hoda Kotb and Kathy Lee. So he has made a substantial amount of money. So much so that he has knocked down Brock Lesnar, who his earnings come largely from UFC. So take that as you will.
What about that Jimmy John money? He's the only one that still has ads on his shorts saying Jimmy John's. He's got to be getting paid from that.
That's why he's number 2 when it comes to overall paid wrestlers making their money in WWE and outside as well. So he's still getting that Jimmy money. But Cena's getting that Hollywood money.
Ooh.
So he beat.
I'm telling you, I predict 2 more years, and then that's it. Cena's out like The Rock, and he's just doing Hollywood.
That's true, but it feels like this might be his last year for me. I feel
we've been saying that for the longest. I mean, I think it's going to take time because look, 2 years. I think he's filming with the Transformers now. It's not coming out next year, probably the one after that. And then he's got 2 other big projects that also probably come out the next year. And if those blow up, that's it.
Then and also he's writing a whole line of children's books about monster cars cars that turn into monsters, something like that. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to make a quick comment. I actually have to agree with Dana on this. I think he's going to be gone sooner rather than later, because after seeing Blockers earlier today, there's no doubt about it that he is pretty much one of the main stars of that movie, and I would say he steals the show once again. So I'll be very surprised. You know, of course, he has the Transformers movie he's doing now. I'll be very surprised, though, if he doesn't, you know, if next WrestleMania is not his last one, because I definitely see him getting a lot of offers after this movie that he was just in. But that's just my opinion.
I'm glad you liked it. And that's good to hear that it was, you know, it was a hit, because at first I got nervous with the name, you know, because like, you know, the roots are blockers. I'm like, all right, cock blockers, and you know, people might think it's very raunchy and then just not want to go see it because of that. But
well,
you know, it was getting good reviews. I read a lot of the reviews, and I'm like, yeah, this is legit funny.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing. I'll just speak on this briefly because I don't want to interrupt you, Dana. Yeah, the movie was entertaining. It was funny. It did have some raunchiness in it. I definitely want to address that because, you know, it's the whole sex thing. And, you know, basically the great thing about it is, again, the parents, you know, they find out about the girls wanting to lose their virginity on prom night. So they to go to extreme lengths to try to go out there. And ultimately, the whole moral of the story is that, you know, if you raise a kid and you raise them right, then you won't have to really worry about what happens with them. You know, you got to trust them to make wise decisions. So they had that in there, but they also had a ton of comedy, and it was just funny. It was great. So when I went to go see it, not a lot of people were seeing it because they all went to go see A Quiet Place, which is another fantastic film. So I hope that it does do well eventually.
And it's scary.
Scary. A Quiet Place?
No, yeah. Was it scary? Because they're building it as a horror movie, but I don't know. I feel it more. Like
I would say, yeah. I mean, I would say it was scary. It's very much survivalistic film. If you've ever played Last of Us, this is
of course
in that same vein of the type of movie it was.
Gory. Everything works on sound. So if you feel tension, that is because of the sound. It's not anything of which some type of monster tearing someone apart. The movie itself relies on your own your own ability to get scared. So through sound, through watching certain visuals, those type of cues that they give is what creates intense moments. Not someone screaming and animals coming, or even like the monsters screaming and ripping body parts, you know, to pieces. It's very beautiful and subtle, and it's very similar to watching a silent movie. I would compare it to Nastafari, which I'm pretty sure I just...
Well, when they're doing the sign language, do they put subtitles at the bottom? Because not everybody knows sign language.
No, they speak it out.
Oh, they speak.
Do sign language and say, I love you.
Yeah, yeah.
Signing.
But yeah, so it is recommended, but
highly.
To get back onto the topic of what I was saying, though, Blockers is, I definitely would say go check it out. If you like movies like American Pie, or any of these other type of films. But again, it has more substance to it because it's comedy. The people in it are very funny as well. So I definitely say it's worth it. And as I said, John Cena, he did an excellent job in the film. He's definitely going to be getting a lot more roles. So we'll see how long he stays in WWE.
Yeah, that is very true. And also, still coming in big numbers is The Rock, who made $65 million last year. So he's still he has that nice coin purse, so he's doing great. Dave Batista was in talks with the WWE about tagging with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 34, but he didn't refuse the offer. The reason is that WWE seems to keep trolling Batista and just not caring about him at all. There were talks this week that went all the way back to January, and they wanted to bring in Batista and, you know, him tagging, as I said, tagging in with Ronda Rousey. They thought it was going to be a really great match. And they also, remember, we have the upcoming Guardians of the not Guardians of the Galaxy. We have Infinity War that's coming up, and he's going to be in it. So it's going to bring in a lot of different, you know, eyes to WrestleMania. However, he says that Triple H was also wanted to do Triple H versus Batista at WrestleMania 35. And that this was going to be, you know, him coming back, and everybody was really excited, except he literally never heard from them again. And 2 months later, after their conversations stopped, Angle was announced as Rodney's partner. And they didn't even tell him that they was going in a different direction. They just literally lost his number, blocked him, and never reached out ever again. So this is like the third or fourth time that they've jerked this guy. And, you know, it's unfortunate. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I just say something real quick about that. Yeah, I did see this news right before we started recording, and I also thought that was ridiculous because Batista has said multiple times he wants to have a retirement match against Triple H. So I don't know if that's going to ever happen.
No, they just don't acknowledge him anymore.
I guess because he didn't have a good run the last go around. Remember, it's like they tried to give him the strong push, and people just booed him to the high heavens. He even won the Royal Rumble, and people were booing and booing, and they were like, you know what? And then he gets real touchy about that, you know, because he complained about it. Remember, he was in the back, and then it was all over online, and there was videos of him bitching, like upset, like why are they doing this to me? They're supposed to like me. What's going on? You know, and maybe that's it. And plus, he had a lot of heat before. You know, he was known as not being the best of people backstage. So,
well, I know one thing he did say in the most recent of interviews is that he doesn't like the fact they have too many people in creative now, and I think that's a valid complaint because we've seen good and bad stuff that WWE creative has done. I haven't seen too much good stuff as of late, but a lot of bad stuff. So. Yeah, I think he does not like working with those people at all. So he may not come back if they don't want to give him the creative freedom to do stuff. Then he may not ever come back. But you know, we'll see. I guess.
It's all right. I don't think anybody wants to see him back full time. I don't see a throw for that. All right.
No, I don't really either. Yeah, but I just don't understand why they keep calling him and asking him, and then just to not respond to him ever again. It's kind of sad. As we all know, former WWE wrestler, manager, and TV star Johnny Valiant has died. The 71-year-old, whose real name was Thomas Sullivan, was hit by a pickup truck while crossing the road in his hometown, Pennsylvania, on Thursday. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. So rest in peace to him, and you know, thoughts go out to his family and his as well. So very unfortunate. It's a terrible way to go.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace in this business. The WWE has confirmed the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia will indeed air on the WWE network, and will have a 1-hour pre-show beginning at 11 a.m. And remember, this is going to be a 5-hour show. So total, we have 6 hours. So stay up nice and early on the 27th of April for that. The Greatest Love has officially produced a baby girl. Maria and Mike Kanellis announced the birth of their child today. So congratulations to them.
Mm-hmm.
There is no word of when or if Maria plans to return to TV now that the baby has been born. I don't even know if I want to see them back, but congratulations. Big Show has opened up WrestleMania week by ringing in the New York Stock Exchange. We saw him around in New York City. He's also around in New Orleans. And he currently dropped a little info about his current WWE status. And there, you guys know, there's been rumors that he's retiring. He's done. He's going to pursue, you know, his rest of his life and be happy. He is saying that they are false, and that he actually re-signed in January. He has a new contract that is a multi-year deal. So we're looking at many, many years of seeing the Big Show, and that he'll be around for a while. And his goal, some are rumoring that it's going to be for like probably within the next 5 to 10 years. He's going to still be with the WWE. And he wants to,
maybe but not wrestling. I can't see him wrestling for all those years.
No, probably not wrestling, but I could see him like doing maybe another year wrestling and then doing stuff behind the scenes. But he also got really ripped if you look at any of his Instagram.
Yeah, no, I know. It looks weird though because he's so big. He needs to have that mass on him, and to look all lean like that, it's great for health reasons, but it just looks weird for someone that big.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, but see right there, they could just repackage him as someone else. But yeah. Apparently, nobody was buying WrestleMania 34 tickets at all. The show was selling, but it wasn't selling out. It wasn't doing really great numbers. That is until Daniel Bryan announced that he is returning to the ring. Daniel Bryan, who, as we all know, was recently cleared to WWE in ring action a few weeks ago. As you know, he's teaming up with Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And it seemed that since his big announcement, there are less than 1,000 tickets remaining, and that they do expect the show to completely sell out. So,
but I figured it was going to sell out when it gets closer anyway, just because, I mean, that's become New Orleans right now. It's like the mecca for wrestling this weekend. So there's so many wrestling fans that are going there for other events that are taking place. And I'm sure some people, like whether they're scalpers or whatever, and people are like, yeah, you know what? Let me see if I can get a ticket or something. Might as well go to WrestleMania, you know, if I can get a decent price. But I mean, I'm still not hyped for this card. I'm not.
I'm not either. And I don't honestly think that it's going to fully sell out. I just don't see it.
They'll say it did, though. They'll say it did.
They always say that it does. They'll say, like, we have, 5 million people in the crowd. Like,
telling people don't understand. Those are the kings of fake news. The kings. They've been lying to us about wrestlers' weights and heights for years.
Since WrestleMania 1, they've been telling us lies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, he just body slammed him. He's been doing it all year round, body slamming him. This was not the first time.
And it's just odd because it's like this information in the past, it was hard to find out, by regular people. But now you could just simply Google the capacity and just in the announcement, it's like, oh, we have, 72,000 and the building only holds, say, 50,000.
Yeah.
Very odd. But good for them. I still doubt that it will completely sell out. But of course, they will say that, it's over capacity.
What always bothered me when they said those things is that if they're like, oh, look, we just sold this stadium out and it's never been done. And I'm like, but you're taking up a large portion for your stage setup. There's no one that can sit behind you for like 3 rows back, and maybe like 6 rows wide because of the whole stage setup. So I'm like, how are you really selling out? I mean, if there was a sporting event or something, usually it takes place on the field. So then you have the entire bowl to fill up. So how are you really doing that?
I don't know.
I guess maybe because they could set seats up on the floor, closer. So maybe that's how they're claiming it. I don't know. I call BS on a lot of that.
I mean, remember they bring in a lot of regular chairs and, there's
that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. They do sit down on the main floor, which would be the field, or the playing ground. So maybe that's enough, but it never looks like that would be enough to replace. I don't know. Who knows?
And don't really shoot the rafters, so we never really see.
Yeah.
Ever.
We don't know.
So.
We just take their word for it. Who cares? Doesn't change our lives.
WWE has finally and officially announced that Bobby Fischer has suffered an ACL injury at a house show and that he's been pulled from the NXT TakeOver New Orleans. So it's very unfortunate for him. Bryan,
because I don't think we're going to talk about it, but from the NXT that happened this past week, they brought it up saying that they're still not sure if he's going to compete. And I found that funny. Because I'm like, really? Even at this point, they're going to come out and say that you're still not sure? Just admit he's not going to compete. He's not going to be in it. And then they even had Adam Cole with Kyle O'Reilly. So I'm like, that's a tag belt. And the way that Regal came out and he said, yeah, if you want to keep your tag, but as if Bobby Fischer's never part of this as a group. It's like as if it was always Adam Cole and O'Reilly. It was weird. But yeah.
It is weird. Brian Pillman Jr. will be on a future episode of Talk is Jericho, so that should be interesting. The rumored contenders, as we know, SmackDown needs a new general manager, and is expected that Daniel Bryan will remove himself from that duty. So the rumored contenders that people are going with, I don't really see.
It's your boy.
Is my boy. It's okay. First we have Hogan, which we no.
No.
My favorite, of course, Jeff Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to laugh, we have Dixie Carter.
I could see that more before Jeff Jarrett. I could see Dixie.
Let's see, y'all. Okay, and we have Edge and Christian, which would be cute.
Nope.
So no, for none of them.
No, that first Edge and Christian never been funny. Don't know why they try so hard. Never been funny, and I think that would be horrible. Dixie would be perfect because I
do want Dixie.
She's different. She's different, and she's a female. And if they're all about the female empowerment and movement, and she's a known female in wrestling, playing that role, she's familiar playing that role. She could play that role perfect. So I think it'll be great for her to come out. You do Jeff Jarrett, it's gonna, unless they bring the Jeff Jarrett that the WWE universe don't know. You can't have Double J doing it. You have to have the Jeff Jarrett, the Danger Jeff Jarrett, from Impact, with the attitude, with the short hair, spiky short blonde hair.
I think you underestimate people, because if you was to say that with the whole thing with not even Kurt Angle, what's the other one? I can't even remember. With remember the Matt Hardy, remember the whole deletion thing. So you're saying that people don't know Jeff Jarrett like in TNA.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the way they're advertising. Remember, he's going in the Hall of Fame. They kept advertising him just as the Double J Jeff Jarrett. He's going in as the Double J Jeff Jarrett. So that's what I'm saying. Is that's what the way they're pushing. I'm not just saying Jeff Jarrett. Like Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, people know his videos and stuff because he was doing, but he's still Matt Hardy. The way Jeff Jarrett, the way that they're pushing him is different. They're not acknowledging it. With WWE, they're acknowledging that he is woken, he's broken. They're doing the whole thing. With Jeff Jarrett, he had a whole gimmick that's completely different for many years, which was a serious version of him, as opposed to the silly character that he played in WWE. And that's what they put on the boards, and that's what's happening right now live on stage. He's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame as that version. It's his gimmick that's going into the Hall of Fame. It's not him. So if you have him coming out as this the manager, then he can't be in that gimmick. He has to be his older gimmick. Well, the gimmick that we know him as, a serious one from Impact. That's what I'm saying. It's just like if the pimp, what's his name? The guy played that did the pimp gimmick. Godfather. Okay. Like, let's say if he went in for, we all know he's Papa Shango, and he played a few of them, but then he goes in the Hall of Fame for the pimp, but we want him as Papa Shango, and he comes out as the general manager of like Papa Shango. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the other gimmick. Yeah, but that's what everybody wants to see. Nobody wants to see the pimp. So it's I don't know. It's going to be tricky. That's why I think, at least with Dixie, they can spin it, and a lot of people know who Dixie is, and she doesn't have to be any other character but the one that she knows how to play. So I think it'll be all right.
Oh, okay. But there's so many storylines that you can go with Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle.
But that's on two different shows. What do you mean? Like they're competing, or like just the bickering?
I would like to compete.
I think those days are over. You notice they're not even talking about ratings and doing that stuff anymore. It's done. I guess they tried it to make it seem like they're two different shows and hyping it, and then they just scrapped that. Just like they scrapped the list on SmackDown, the top 10 list. They scrapped that too.
That was all for storyline with Jinder, Bobby Roode, and Randy Orton. Yeah, that's all that was.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that is.
I'll just say, hey, we'll see about the general manager. I don't think any of those four will actually get it. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. That's all I have to say about that.
All right.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So, if you've been keeping up with the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, they announced a few more. They announced Dana Brooke. They announced her. So Dana Brooke is going to be added, along with, as you already previously announced, Sasha Banks, Bayley Natalia, Lana, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Becky Lynch, Naomi, Mickey James, Grandma Mickey, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Carmella, who still has not cashed in. So
she did. Didn't she do that? They said she did that on SmackDown, and
It
she
was
lost.
she didn't. They didn't really. It didn't get to the point where they said that this is a cash in. It was another failed attempt to cash
Oh,
in.
it was another failed attempt because I saw that. I got a highlight, no, alert from WWE saying that there goes that it failed, and that she was the longest holding Money in the Bank winner. And she's held that title, that contract for
Just
the
because
longest
the
time.
writers, they have no idea what to do with her.
Nope.
None. Maybe they're waiting for Big Cass to come back.
But they broke up, so can they work together? I don't know. That's
Well,
the
at
thing
the end
with
of the
these
day, you have
wrestling
to.
breakups. It's a business, I get it, but I mean, still, they divide people up. We've seen that. Hell, you just said it with Mickey and Cena and that whole thing. She got fired.
Yep.
So,
last but not least, WWE, nice little segue, has filed a trademark for Colin Cassidy, which, if you have been following NXT, is the name Big Cass went by when he was in the NXT. Now, this means one of two things: that he will revert back when they revert back to the name. He might revert back to that gimmick that he had. But what is going on? People are saying more likely is that they want WWE, as in they want to completely disassociate him from Enzo Amore. So that's one big thing right there. So to look out for when he's back. And
nobody cares about him. Nobody wants him back.
Oh, you guys are just so mean.
Not mean. No. And we're talking within the world of the wrestling. Do I want him to have a job and stuff? Damn right I do. Support your family, have a bunch of babies and a cat and a dog. But what I'm saying in wrestling right now, I don't care. I don't see. I saw him when Enzo got hurt, but not too long ago. Remember when he had the concussion? They came to town, and Kaz was there performing, and he was doing those handicap matches. And it's like he's big and all, but it doesn't do it in the ring for me. I don't know. It's like he just isn't. It doesn't flow right. He's still green. I feel he's still green. He needs a tag team.
I think with his time off, yes, he's been healing and going through that process, but I think he probably took extra time off so that he can get better with his training, and that we may see a better and more improved cast.
I don't know.
See, I have a prediction, not a spoiler. Okay, just a prediction. But I personally think that Big Cass, I do agree that he needed time to, they had to do some more with his character. So he will obviously be at WrestleMania. He'll probably be in that Battle Royal. But what I think is, if they are still going to call up Drew McIntyre, because I think that is going to happen on Raw Monday night, then I could see them moving Big Cass to SmackDown. You're not going to have him on the same show as Drew McIntyre, when Drew McIntyre is the one that I think that's what Vince wanted Big Cass to be. He wanted him to be at that same level. That, so I don't think he's going to have both of these guys on the same show. He'll probably have Big Cass moved.
Yep, yeah. Drew took that spot.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Drew can talk on the mic.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he can.
That's the thing. And
but they've made. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But they've been working with him, so you never know. I think that he might come back, at least 10% improved.
Oh yeah, I definitely think he'll be improved, and hopefully he also has a better theme music than he had.
Yeah, that was
because that was just the most generic.
They took that from the video game. They were like, "Yo, you got any leftover tracks like for the generic wrestler?" Oh yeah, we got a few. Can you give us one? Do you want to listen? No, we don't need to. Just give us one of them. It don't matter. Something like dun 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 dun. Yeah, that works. That works. That's so bad.
Yeah.
This happened to get rid of Jim Johnston.
No, I think it's just they didn't care. I think that's it. He needs a whole new gimmick. Put some clothes on the man, and give him a new gimmick. Because if he comes out, I'm telling you, if he comes out, all sweaty looking with the wet hair and his trunks, people are gonna be looking around. Where's Enzo? Does that mean Enzo's back? Where's Enzo? You know what I mean? It's just not gonna. It's too fresh in our minds. He needs to look completely different.
The Bludgeon Brothers
need to go back to the Wyatt family.
There you go. He can be a brother brother, bludgeon triplet or whatever.
Triplet. I don't know.
Something it's different, and he's big.
Oh boy, what was that?
We heard that. That sound kind of serious. That sound like the wrestling is beginning early at Dana's house.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. You continue.
No, that is everything.
All right, there we
Okay,
go.
cool. All right, so
wait, we got one more news.
Oh, what's that?
Just for people not knowing, I mean, right now, you could also keep it on. You can hear us, but we're talking about this because right now no one needs to watch. Well, you need to watch it, but don't need to listen to it. The Impact versus Lucha Underground. I'm always hyping Lucha Underground, so I cannot talk about this. It's happening right now live on Twitch for free. Type in Impact Wrestling, and then you could just put it on mute and just watch the action. And we'll talk about it. But yeah, that's happening now. So that's cool that it's free. It amazes me though because they have their own network. So I don't understand why it's not on the network. Don't they want subscribers and money? But whatever.
Oh, here's the problem. Also, because of the whole WrestleMania week, their network has their numbers have dropped drastically. So I guess by putting it on this platform, you're able to, watch, say, the Hall of Fame, which is also airing right now. Triple H is speaking. So you can do both at the same time instead of that whole flipping back and forth. So I actually kind of like that it's streaming.
Well, for the Impact?
Yeah, the Impact thing, it's streaming because
I think it's cool and all. Yeah, I think it's great because it's free. But it's just funny because they're always hyping up that they have their pay subscription network, and you would think that this is a big match, a big event because it's cross promotion and it's free.
But no one is buying, and I think by offering this for free, it's like here's something else that you could turn into at this moment. So I kind of like the idea.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right.
I guess no way stuff, but it works. Oh, and Shawn Michaels cut his hair off.
That looked weird. Yeah, that really changed him. Like,
well, I think that all. I mean, he already said he was retired from wrestling, so that
does it.
It ends it for good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was barely hanging on to begin with.
We saw like how much that hair really means because like in the picture where he doesn't have it, like he just automatically seems old. Like he ain't no sexy boy anymore.
No boy.
Yeah, that's good. You're right. You're right about that one. That's funny. All right.
So rest in peace. Also,
rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. My childhood is officially dead.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, Dana, thank you very much for the news recap.
Thank you.
I just want to I just want to speak very briefly about Monday Night Raw because I was actually at Monday Night Raw this past Monday at the Phillips Arena, and I noticed a couple of things that I thought absolutely worth mentioning. First and foremost, I had like balcony seats, but I had an exceptional view. I could see the ring. I couldn't see the stage area because the WrestleMania sign was blocking the stage area, but I was able to see all the wrestlers getting into the ring, so that was cool. The experience is very interesting though because on one side, I had some very interesting people that I was in the area with. To my left-hand side was a Roman Reigns fan, and to my right-hand side was someone who dislikes Roman Reigns. So you could already imagine how that was when Roman Reigns came out. One guy was like, boo. The other guy was like, yeah, that was weird to be in that situation.
Shit, I've been in those situations like that. I've also seen it with Cena, and then the kids cheering and then people booing and then parents screaming at them. It's like, yo, man, just stop booing, man. You're making my kid mad. It's like, yeah, well, I don't give a shit about your kid. What you say?
Whoa.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it, man.
Yeah, well, I hope that Ricky does not encounter that issue at WrestleMania this weekend. I know when they had WrestleMania in Dallas, the event was so long. By the time it got to the Roman Reigns Triple H match, there was actually a father and a son sitting next to us. The son was ready to see Roman Reigns. The father picked the kid up and said, "Hey, we got to go," and walked right out. right before the main event started. So, yeah, some people like Roman Reigns, others don't. But that was interesting. One other thing I did want to mention about this event.
Wait, breaking news.
What's that?
Breaking news. Matanza is there. Matanza just came out.
Uh-oh.
Matanza is there. The monster Matanza is in the ring.
He's in the ring.
Announce him. See, these surprises. That's why it's available for free right there. Boom. Made money. $1.
So you could definitely give us, you could let us know how it, what he does, how the event goes, because I'm not watching the event at the currently. I have
it muted, and then I just saw him come out, and his name was like, oh, okay.
All right,
and at the same time, Kid Rock is on, and he looks like he's about 200 years old with no teeth. Has no teeth.
Yep, yeah, Hall of Fame. That's what I'm watching as well. So that's interesting.
Where's his teeth?
Hey, he lost the drugs.
Hey, he'll have them back on Sunday when he does the American Badass theme for the Undertaker. So we'll see about that.
Let's get to all that because there's a lot of stuff to talk about and there's a lot of hate that we need to spread. So let's do this.
All right, yeah. But before I do that, one last thing I want to say about being at the Raw event live. One thing that I noticed from being at the show is that, whenever they went to commercial or, whenever they weren't on the air, there was one particular angle that they kept showing videos for over and over and over and over again. And that, of course, is the Ronda Rousey, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, Kurt Angle, that whole thing. They kept showing that video package over and over and over again. So that tells me that WWE, they are very, very desperate for viewership. They know Ronda Rousey. They look at that as a big name. So the fact that I saw that promo, it had to be at least 15 times. No exaggeration. At least 15 times they showed that in between the commercial breaks. So that tells me they are really, really riding the hype train with this. They want this to be a big deal because I even had people in my same row asking me, hey, is this the main event for WrestleMania? Because they have shown this so much. It's just ridiculous. So I thought that was very interesting. But still, a good show nonetheless. And I only say good because the Seth Rollins and Finn Balor match was excellent. Everything else for a go-home show was absolutely horrible.
It's too much. That was a great match. I love seeing Seth and Balor do their thing, but I feel like we've seen it, 3-4 times within this month?
Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it too much. I agree.
Yeah, and now we're going to see it again at Mania with The Miz. Man, just hype it up, but stop giving it to us. You have plenty of other wrestlers in the back. They're like, can I wrestle tonight? Can I do something tonight? You know what I mean? Have them do it and save these type of matches because people are like, yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and something else. No, you're 100% right. And another complaint that I will make that is also related to that when you said, well, we had other matches we could have had. Why the hell didn't they have Bayley versus Sasha Banks? Because they're in that women's match, on Sunday, which is actually going to be on the pre-show. So obviously, unless if the storyline is to have them be the final two in that match, whatever, but they could have had an individual match right then and there on Monday Night Raw, especially considering what happened last week with the whole attack. So I thought that was weird, but yeah, for a go-home show, they did a horrible job, and I could tell they were holding back a lot because obviously WrestleMania coming up, and then you have the Raw after WrestleMania, which is going to be a bigger deal. So I guess they want to save everything for that, but I was not impressed with the matches on the card. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor was good, but again, as you say, too much. We've seen that too many times. So, but it is what it is. And also, they also didn't mention when they're coming back to Atlanta, which I find interesting because every time I go to an event, you would hear them say, "Oh, we'll come back at this time." This like they said, "Well, to hell, we're not talking about that." So
no, they did that in my area too. When they came.
Okay,
not mine,
not yours,
not mine.
Oh, so yeah, they advertise because they love New York. They advertise, said, "Oh yeah, we'll be back."
No, they already, but I guess for the other markets, because then they're trying to figure out their schedules, and that's way up in who knows. But yeah, I mean, it's too much seeing that match. I mean, we don't see that with the other main events. We don't see Roman Reigns and Brock having a bunch of matches leading up to it. So why do this? I mean, if you try to get us hyped about it, then do the same thing like you're doing with the Ronda and all of them. Just show us video packages and have them come out and talk. You know, have other people wrestle so that we want to see them in the ring. We want to see that match. We just saw it. We just saw it now on Monday, and now we're going to see it again on Sunday.
Yeah, and you saw some of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar with the Superman punches that Brock Lesnar oversold at the end of Raw. You know,
See, right there is what I'm talking about. This is the whole thing. Be like, well, why don't you like him? I mean, he has it. He does like the 2 damn moves over and over again. Spear Superman. I know he knows other moves. I know at the Performance Center they showed him at least 4 other moves. There's no reason he should be doing this over and over again. You know, and when you keep doing that, and then people are like, all right, what's that? Let's say if someone doesn't know, and say next to you, like, oh wow, he's got this look, everything. All right, what's that? That's like his finisher move. All right.
I agree.
He did it, but he did it a bunch of times though. Yeah. All right. That's it. Like, yeah, that's it. So if he catches it like 4 or 5 times at Mania, he's gonna win. Okay. That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing else. And that's what sucks. He's so one-dimensional that there's no interest in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with him. You know, does he have a look? Yep. Is he good on the mic? No. But there's plenty of people that are not. You know, and he can sell it if he does things the right way. And it's not his fault. It's just the way they push him. You know, and I remember when he didn't just do 2 moves. Yeah. When he was part of the Shield and he was doing all kinds of stuff. But then once he went solo, and he would bust out the Superman punch every once in a while, and people loved it. And they were like, shit, we're gonna overkill it now. You know, it's like having that one favorite song on the radio, and it gets all the hits and listen tune in. So they're like, you know, we're playing that shit 5 times every hour. Now you're gonna hate the Macarena. You know what I mean? And that's what they do. So now we see it constantly, the whole loading it up like a gun and ooh, and doing it over and over again. And it's like, oh, stop. If you're really that powerful, if it's supposed to really be a finisher, just like when the Big Show does his punch, 1 time and you're done.
Yeah,
that's it.
I agree.
And that's why it's like when I saw that, when they were doing that, I was like, I'm not into it. Or even when they were I see it. They're trying to make him the baby face. Brock is a heel when they had everybody lined up on the ramp, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna block. And say, come on, man, that's the part timer. You're gonna back up the part timer. You know, and they should say, you know what? No, I'm blocking you because you taking all my TV time. I can't have a damn match because you out here doing this bullshit with this guy. That's why I'm blocking you. I got more TV time on this ramp than I had all month. So I'm staying here. That's what I would have said. But they didn't do that. So they parted like the sea, and then he comes running down and doing that whole BS.
Yeah, that's exactly what Vince wants. So he's got his wish.
You know, but to get with your point with those people, it's like whether the Ronda, that doesn't seem like a good main event to me. She's still green. Everybody in that match is old and not full-time wrestlers.
Too late.
It's
too late.
Too late.
Yeah. and then to have that, and then to have this Roman, the Roman Reigns and the Brock match, we already know the outcome. Dana White pretty much gave that shit away too. He's telling everybody Brock. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, Brock is coming. We've already working it out. We're trying to figure out a timing and a partner, but a matchup. But yeah, he's coming. You know, so it's like, and then of course everything points to that's accurate because the way WWE is portraying Brock, and what they're doing with Roman. So it's like, all right, so we know this is happening. So. But besides that, nobody wants to see the Roman match do this whole thing again. And that's why I hope there's some surprise. It has to be a surprise. And I'm going to stick with my weird prediction, just linked to this because we're already talking about it, that somebody's going to take Carmella's Money in the Bank contract. She still has it, and they're going to cash it in. Someone's going to steal it and cash it in. Has it ever been done before? Nope. So it could happen.
No, that can't happen because think of all of the women that will be outraged because they were already mad that James Ellsworth helped her win that. So they're not going to do that again. They can't be that stupid. Give it to a guy?
No, they're not going to give it to a guy. A guy's going to steal it. She's going to say she can't find it. It's gone. She can't find it. And then next you know, you're going to see whether it's that match or another match, whatever it is, someone's going to run down with the briefcase. They're going to tell the guy, ring the bell. The guy's going to look confused. And then the announcer's going to cover and be like, well, it's a contract. It's a title match contract, right? I guess, I mean, that's it. He's catching in a contract. It's like cashing in a check, you know? And they were like, all right, fine, ring the bell.
You know what? Adam could be right, because if you watch the pre-show in the Hall of Fame, Carmella didn't have the briefcase with her, and they made a big deal about the briefcase not being in her hands, and they didn't know what it was backstage.
Well, so, I say this. We'll see what happens. I personally think that would be a bad.
Think about it. It's going to be a waste of time if they just have her come out and lose it so quickly. She had it for so long.
It's still a waste. It's still a waste, no matter what.
But it won't be a waste.
Not be believable.
But it won't be a waste if somebody else cashes it in.
Yeah, you mean if another female wrestler cashes it in, right?
Anybody else. Anybody else. No. Yes, anybody else. Female, male, animal, anybody else. Because right now we know Carmella's not going to do it. She's not going to win.
So I'll tell you what. I'm going to put someone on the spot. Gary, do you think that's a good idea for that to happen, for a male to try and cash in the female Money in the Bank?
No, definitely not.
Remember who got her this, though? But remember who got it? It was a male who got her that.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they had that controversy with Ellsworth, and also the battle royal, the Moolah thing. So like they're gonna be dancing on eggshells. They don't want to like rile people up again. So I don't think they're gonna go down that road. But I do think if the Money in the Bank does get stolen, it will be another female, and I think that's a high possibility because the people who have the belt now, it just seems like Carmella isn't gonna be able to get it from them. Like she's not gonna be able to win the belt, so they might as well just give it to someone else.
And I also will say this is the first ever. So because it is the first ever women's Money in the Bank winner, that'll cause even more of a backlash if that happens. And then it's a guy that cashes it in. It doesn't. I don't think that makes sense. A female, yeah, sure, I could see a female doing it. I don't know who that would be. But ultimately, we'll see what happens. We also are going to be joined by another guest here momentarily. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Oh, I got some more breaking news. More breaking news.
What's the breaking news?
Matanza just won the match, and it was like one of those fatal four-way type, and it had Moose and a few other guys, Jake Evans and a few other wrestlers in it, and he won. So that's one for Lucha Underground, and of course, it's Matanza.
That's excellent. So I look forward to Lucha Underground sweeping all of Impact under the rug. If I had to make a guess.
Style.
So say what?
And they filmed it in the Lucha style.
Oh, see, I definitely got to check it out. I'm not going to check it out now while we're doing the show, but I will check it out at some point. So there's one more thing I want to discuss before we get into the predictions, because you already brought it up, Adam, and I need to talk about this also because I probably should mention it. So the Undertaker, of course, didn't show up on Monday Night Raw this past week. The people that will say what?
He's on a beach in Aruba enjoying his best retired life.
Yeah, and when they asked his wife, she said, "Oh, well, he's eating breakfast right now." So, but here's the thing: the people, when being at the live arena, when everybody was expecting Undertaker to show up. I saw people with signs, Undertaker shirts on, everything. So when he didn't show up, a lot of people booed. John Cena had that whole segment with the boos, so on and so forth. A lot of people booed, and then after the show, when I was walking with the crowds, people just looked defeated, angry. Where the hell is the Undertaker at? And I thought it was kind of funny, entertaining to see this. But the reason why I wanted to discuss this very briefly, now I wanted to ask you guys, and Gary, you can answer this as well. Do you think the Undertaker needs to actually come back? Yes or no? Or do you think that's it? He needs to be done, finished and over with, done. So Gary, how about you answer first?
I mean, I would prefer if he just stopped. Like, I think last year should have been the last, match, considering how that ended. But now they've teased this whole thing with John Cena, so I think they kind of have to deliver now. And I don't know. My guess is that the Undertaker is probably on the highway on his bike right now, like riding to WrestleMania. So he's probably just going to show up randomly. Like I had this whole like theory of how it's going to play out in my head. Like John Cena will probably like buy a ticket to the front row or something like that to watch a match, and then like Undertaker just suddenly appears and starts attacking him, and then the match just gets set up right there and then. Like that would be kind of interesting to see a match, just kind of confirmed on the spot like that.
I think because they have so many matches on the card, I really hate for them to do this, but I could see them, obviously Undertaker will come in, he will maybe beat up John Cena, then he'll request the match, but it will be at next WrestleMania instead of at the actual event itself.
Oh, hell no.
Because, I mean, they did that with The Rock and Cena before, where they had people wait a whole year before you saw these guys get into a ring and actually fight.
And that was terribly executed.
Yeah, no, that was, and people hated that. And they mainly did that just to drag it out. But this is different. Undertaker's old. I have a feeling, all right, so that was your thing. That was your prediction. Mine is that Cena's going to come out because he's still, whining, and I still don't understand why he feels entitled to do this. I still don't know why he feels like he has to pick on Undertaker about this whole thing. Like it's Undertaker's fault. Like when he came out and started talking about all the matches he lost. I lost this, I lost that. Well, you just answered your own damn question. You lost all these damn matches, so why do you deserve anything at Mania? But then he wants to keep calling out Undertaker and all that stuff. Call out somebody else that's on the roster. There's plenty of other good people. He should have. Remember when he used to do his open challenge? Remember that? He was like, I have my open challenge for the United States title. He should have did something like that. They could have had a whole feud before all this bitching and whatever. But I have a feeling he is going to come out. It's probably going to be like somewhere mid WrestleMania. And he's going to say, hey, you guys having fun? This is great. Yeah, this is great. And he's going to do the whole hype thing and stuff. And then all of a sudden, right, we're going to hear Kid Rock playing music on stage. And then Undertaker's going to come out on his motorcycle. He's going to do his long entrance, come around. He's going to get in the ring, right? The ref is going to look. They're going to ring the bell. Next you know, he's going to give a bunch of punches. He's going to wind up doing the last ride, and it's a squash. He pins him 1, 2, 3. He gets back on the bike, and he drives up the ramp, and that's it. I think it's going to be a squash match because if Vince really wanted to hype this up with Mania stuff, he would have acknowledged that it's a match happening. He loves putting Undertaker on billboards and advertisements. He would have done it, and he didn't do it. So I think it's going to be a squash. Like Gary said, they have to. The guy has to show up. There's no way. There's no way they're going to not have him show up. But I have a feeling it's going to be a squash match. It's like, hey, we can't advertise it as a full match because Undertaker can't do it. He can't pull that. So what are we going to do? Well, we can have him come down. He'll have the bike. We'll do that whole thing, and then that's it. And I think that's what's going to happen. And, Kid Rock is there. Kid Rock did his theme song. I'm trying to remember if it was before or after the Limp Bizkit version. I think it was. It was before, because then later he left for a while. Then he came back, and he came back with the rolling. So, yeah. So anyway, that's my thing. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's why they didn't advertise it, because it's not officially a match.
Sounds good. So, how about you, Dana?
Wrong.
Because I know you don't want to see Undertaker return either. So go ahead.
Here's only 2 ways how this can play out. One is he never shows, and I think that's the best thing. John Cena gets in there. Where are you, Taker? Where are you? And he just never shows up. And I think that is like the greatest thing ever. He's retired. He's the dead man. He's gone. He made his appearance back during the whole with the 25th anniversary, and that was just for show, because that's why he was all mumbling and looking a hot mess. So he's gone anyway. So that's like one thing right there. He doesn't show at all. If he does show, like, here's the thing, I don't see Kid Rock. Kid Rock does his already. Remember how they do the performances in the middle of the show somehow, like, make it like an intermission thing, and he just comes out and just does his thing. I don't see him having any association with the Undertaker in that match. What I do see is Cena goes to the ring, hey, they point him out, John Cena, you fan, come over here. And he goes in the ring and he gives this whole thing. Yeah, I'm just here. I'm being normal. I'm hanging out with the guys. I love it. Woohoo. Where's the Undertaker? He didn't show. The stadium, the whole thing goes dark. And next thing you just see is like a light. Undertaker's hand reaches out, and it doesn't even have to be the Undertaker in that sense. They can get like one of the guys in the back. Because remember, the Undertaker's on vacation. So they get the hand, appears up from under the ring, and just pulls down John Cena, and that's it. Boom. But we are not getting any matches at all. And see, Undertaker can still be retired. You just get that hand, pulls him by the ankle, slides him down. That's it. Or it could even be Kane. It's Kane's hand. And that's it.
Well, that is a very creative way to describe the situation.
What about you, Rich? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to answer the question. I also do not want to see Undertaker return. You know, shocking to hear that, right? But I know that they have to now because of all this stuff they have going on. And very interestingly, I listened to a show earlier today in which they, you know, I guess this, when they started broadcasting earlier on the network, they were talking about, you know, they have the little, I guess it's the memorabilia wrestling, like they have this little, I don't want to say like a museum setup, because Ricky and I went to this back in Dallas when they had it there.
They usually have that access, right? Isn't there something?
Yeah,
in
access.
That you can buy like old belts and shirts and.
That's it. That's it. Access. But the thing is, they had a lot of stuff set up, you know, just so to give people a little bit of history on, you know, some of the wrestlers. And surprisingly, at this segment, at this event, they had the Undertaker's robe in the hat from last year. And apparently there was something where Stephanie and Hunter were there talking about it. And Stephanie made a comment like, oh, well, that's a very important thing, especially with this year. And Triple H stopped her. Hey, wait, hold on. He just tried to deflect and talk about something else. So obviously they could be playing games, but I think it's pretty clear that Undertaker is definitely going to be there. I mean, I think you had a good scenario of a squash match, you know, because I go back to John Cena when he had that promo, and you remember he specifically said, "How many of you guys want to see me get chokeslammed by the Undertaker at WrestleMania?" That right there, in my opinion, was him pretty much saying that, you know, Undertaker does come back. Yeah, it could just be a beatdown. Yeah. It could be a street fight because that doesn't necessarily need to be quite as physical instead of an actual match. But my thing is, Undertaker definitely will be there. There are reports that said he is already booked for WrestleMania, so he will be there. You know, it's a question of how they're going to actually do this whole thing. But ultimately, I do think it has to be some type of confrontation because John Cena is still on social media talking about all this other stuff. So they can't. This has to be some type of next chapter in this story that they're telling, unless they just end it abruptly. But they're not going to do that because it's still going on. So we'll see what happens. I don't really know what's going to happen. All I know is Undertaker will probably show up, and it will be the American Badass version because, as I had mentioned last week on this particular show, when they had that whole segment of John Cena meeting Undertaker for the very first time backstage, that was the American Badass version of Undertaker that he met. So if they wanted to tell a story, they could have used that footage, but they didn't bother with any of that stuff. So yeah, it probably will be a squash match, like you said, Adam, if it happens. But there's definitely going to be a confrontation. There will be some type of confrontation.
Everything's pointing to squash match because he's not advertised as actually being there or having a match. So he's definitely going to show up, but it's just going to be quick. It's not going to be a match.
He's not showing up. He's not showing up.
That'd be crazy if he doesn't show up. Then that means that they basically lied and led people on this whole time. They gave Cena so much airtime promoting this. So much airtime. We're not, right? It's like he was having like 10, 15-minute promos by himself, hyping up.
Nope, legally said he was there. They never advertised it, so they're in the clear.
No, yeah, no one's going to sue them. I'm saying people are going to be bitter. We know how this product works. You know, you can't just keep saying, "Yeah, I can't wait to fight this guy," and he's not there. I mean, they've done this once. They've done this before, and this was with fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon. Remember when they were like, "Oh, they're back, and they kept hyping it up that they were backstage. It's not, and when he finally came out, we saw that it was two other people playing them, and it wasn't really Kevin Nash and Razor Ramon. And they went with it, and they had him do it, and the whole time they were in the ring wrestling, people booed the shit out of them.
But nope. See, they never advertised it. I honestly don't think he will be there. I think that people are just, they want it so bad, but it's not.
What do you mean they want it so bad? WWE wanted it so bad. That's the whole reason why they had Cena come out. It's not like he was just saying on social media. They gave him actual TV time. That means writers put this down, pen to paper, and said, "This is what's happening."
Also put down Katie Vick. That's not exactly saying that would be something that
happened, and that happened. We saw it. We saw Triple H get in the casket. I'm saying we're gonna see it. The Undertaker's gonna be there.
Yeah. I have to agree and say, yeah, he is going to be there because too much has been done to bring attention to this.
Mm-hmm.
You have all this stuff going on with the Kid Rock induction, and even though Dana has already said that was in no way related to Undertaker, I mean, a lot of people know about that badass thing. So, I mean, we'll have to see. But ultimately, I feel like there's no other way for this to go. It has to be some type of confrontation or something that happens there. If it's a no-show, I'll be happy to come on here next week and say, Dana was right on the money. She was perfect in her thinking of all of this, and we need to listen to everything that she says, including watching Mixed Match Challenge when it happens again next year. But
I hate y'all. Mixed Match Challenge is amazing.
But I mean, we'll see. But I just want to reiterate, I personally do not really want to see Undertaker wrestle anymore. But the match he had with Roman Reigns last year was absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to leave. A lot of people agree that was a bad match. You've heard Roman Reigns had an interview and says that he blames himself for the match as well. So I don't think that that's a good memory to have of the Undertaker. So even if he doesn't have a match with John Cena, maybe just some little squash thing, I think that's totally fine, and they can be happy knowing that at least that was how it ended. But I mean, it's up to them.
Memories. We still live with the fact that it was Brock Lesnar who broke Undertaker's streak.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Hear about our memories?
Well, that to me I was still shocked about that as well. So,
have you seen WrestleMania 27? That was the whole thing. Just screwed up all of my WrestleMania memories. One of the worst memories.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and let's start getting into some of the predictions because, we'll see what happens with Undertaker and John Cena. But as for the predictions, I think we need to start with NXT TakeOver New Orleans, which, as we already can agree here, that will end up being the best show of the weekend.
Always is.
It always is. Every time they have this match, and there's a lot of people that I tell you need to watch NXT TakeOver. Shout out to Edward and Mr. Kennedy who are watching right now. I told these guys need to watch. Yeah, I told these guys need to watch NXT. Gary also. Y'all need to watch NXT. Don't worry about WrestleMania. Yeah, you can watch WrestleMania if you want, but NXT is that's where the real action is at.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm around tomorrow, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
You have to. That's they have not failed once on these takeover events.
Nope.
They've all lived up to it and surpassed expectations.
Yep.
It's actual wrestling. It's matches. You're gonna the hype that you get on it is the actual in-ring performance, not all of the backstage stories and all that. Nope. It's what's gonna happen in the ring. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, and I'll just make a quick comment. We might be having Ricky joining us here shortly because he actually is in New Orleans right now. So we'll see about that. But let's go ahead and let's get into NXT TakeOver. We're going to start off. There's 5 matches that are confirmed for the card. I have no idea who we might see in terms of appearances at this show because, there's always somebody that's in the audience. So we can get into that after. But starting off with this match, we have Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in an unsanctioned match. Now, if Gargano wins, he will be reinstated to NXT. If Ciampa wins, Gargano will be fired from NXT for forever. So, who do you guys pick to win this match? And I'm going to go with you first, Dana.
Dana.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Technical difficulties.
All right, so how about you go first, Adam?
Johnny has to win this. Johnny's been losing all his matches. He's in this situation because he lost, against Cena. So it's like he has to win this. He has to vindicate himself. He has to win. He has to get reinstated, do that whole thing. And that's it. It just makes sense. And with Ciampa, I think this will be his time for him to move up. So Ciampa will lose, and then he'll leave. That feud is over, and then he'll go up, whether it's 205 or SmackDown, whatever. He can go on any card, but I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be an amazing match. Amazing match. Both of them can work. They work well together. They know each other well. The fact there's no sanction basically says anything can go. So we're going to see all kinds of out of the ring activities. So it should be an entertaining match. So I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be.
Okay, let me just ask one quick question, and then I'm going to go to Dana. So you don't think that it's time for? Hey, there he is.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Coming to you live from the Superstore in New Orleans. I can hear the Ascension's theme going on right now on the other side of this wall. But it's and the store's closing in 20 minutes, so I'm just gonna figure out what the heck I'm getting and get the heck out of here. But I want to drop by, see how you guys are doing.
Yeah.
What do you? Adam's like, awesome. Let me show you guys something. An exclusive. Hold on 1 second. So this might be considered a spoiler for some people.
No, is it
Wait.
You heard it here first. Oh, you saw it here first. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Show it again. Wait,
show it again.
I didn't see it.
I was in shock, but I was like, wait a minute.
There it is.
Oh.
See the back.
You see? There you go, Dana. Dana's over here saying it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Looks like it's happening. And
I told her. So what do you think?
I
think we'll get you real quick your prediction on this. I have a feeling he's going to come and it's going to be a squash match. It's just going to be a squash match. It's going to be a quick. He comes in, beats him 1, 2, 3, and walks away. You think he's going to do it?
That's why they're not billing it as a whole match.
Yeah.
Because it's probably just going to be like a quick fight, and then Cena will just shake his head like, I should have known better, and you know that's about it.
You see?
But
there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Confirmation.
Oh, hey Gary. I heard you finally got onto the podcast. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I had to finally get on.
It's WrestleMania, man. You gotta do it.
WrestleMania.
It's that time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's see.
Were there a lot of wrestling fans out there? Because on the plane. Because I don't know. In my mind, I feel like it's just being flooded with people that are into wrestling.
There weren't a lot at my gate, but there was a couple, and they recognized the Finn Balor stuff. They reckon, and they're like, oh hey, who do you think's gonna win this match and all that. So
they didn't bring up anything about him being bisexual and all of that transgender stuff.
Whoa! Wait, hold on. Who?
Wait, what's all this?
That stuff that on WWE on their website they posted an image of Finn Balor doing this symbol, and his shirt has all the colors of the rainbow, and he says he's a man for everyone, and doing that whole thing. I don't believe that's going to be a gimmick thing. I think they're just trying to sell merch, but a lot of people think that that's his new gimmick after WrestleMania.
No, that's news to me. I've never
go on their website. If you go on their website, you'll see it.
I'll have to check it out, but you have to check this out. This is, I believe, a Nakamura jacket. My stuff has arrived. I don't know how well you guys can see that.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
AJ's got his jacket here. Another one there.
Can you buy his gloves? Remember, that was a big selling point for him in Japan, the gloves.
They have different colored gloves here.
There you go. Oh,
wow.
Man.
Yeah, they had that at the Superstore last year as well, the AJ gloves.
So let me just make a comment now, and this is directed primarily to Adam and Dana. So are you going to go to WrestleMania now next year, or you still no? I'm not going to make
Well,
it.
that's different. That's going to be in New York, so that'll be easy to get to. You know,
All right, so I was just stopping by real quickly. I gotta focus on getting whatever merch I can before this place closes. But
well, also it's empty because I'm assuming when it gets closer, like tomorrow stuff, it's going to be packed trying to get anything.
exactly. Saturday is crazy. So
There you go.
like, so I had to get the I was there shirt. So
Gotcha.
because I still remember that selling out 2 years ago.
Do they have
'cause I
NXT
waited-
stuff there also, or no NXT stuff? Just WWE.
They do. They have the
Oh, yeah,
takeover
there you go.
New Orleans shirt there. What
I
else?
feel like
What
those
else
are the
they got?
collector's items. It's just like when I would go to a band concert and I get when they're on tour at that location. Those are always collector items because they're just unique for that location.
Undisputed Era. They got a shirt there.
Yeah, you can
Alistair
let
Black.
that
They
sit
got
there.
that there. Got Sandy shirt right there. See what else?
There you go.
Velveteen Dream.
Oh,
shirt now.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the back. Yeah, that's the back of the shirt. Roderick Strong got his own shirt. Peter Dunne, Ember Moon,
everybody's got
Shayna
stuff.
Baszler. Wow, this is more NXT shirts than I remember last time. Like they would just have like Bobby Roode and Asuka and like I think they had an AOP shirt last time, but that's about it.
All right. But don't go
yeah.
broke buying all this merch,
No kidding, man.
right? Because I mean,
All
well,
right. I gotta let you go. I'm getting
yeah,
late
yeah,
here.
go.
So I need to.
Go,
I
go.
need to hurry
There's
up
a
and
guy
get
in the
this
back
stuff.
that keeps watching you, so I think he
Yeah.
wants you to hurry up and get your shit and go. So.
Oh,
Yeah, I think everyone wants to leave, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
All right, let's you guys
All
go.
right.
Talk
Have
to you
fun
later.
tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow.
Have fun,
Thank you.
man.
have fun.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Live report from New Orleans.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a nice little segment there. All right, so I'll go back to what I was saying. The question I was asking you, Adam. So you don't think that it's time for Johnny Gargano to get called up to the main roster?
I don't think it's his place. And if he does, you can't have him lose this match. You can't. You just can't have it lose. If he loses this one, it's just like, oh. So he lost a bunch of times trying to get the title match because in some of them, Ciampa interfered, and then now he gets to get that revenge, and then he loses that too. Oh, you can't do that. That would just be wrong. But I have a feeling he's going to be in NXT. He's an NXT guy. I don't see him going up. I mean, he could definitely go up, but I just feel like something about it. I think he needs to stick around a little bit longer, and Ciampa needs to go up. So. That's the way I feel. I feel Ciampa, they need heel, especially if he goes 205. Yeah. He could definitely work and do that whole thing, especially with the rebranding.
So your pick is Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano wins after like 2-hour match. I don't know. No, it's going to be a long match. I think it's going to be a long match, but it's going to be fun. That's going to be one to watch.
Okay, and Ricky's pick also was Johnny Gargano.
So let me write this down. There we go.
Yeah. So Dana, now how about you? Who do you pick?
Johnny.
There you go, Johnny.
So
wow. Okay. I do agree. You make a very good point about him having to win since he didn't win those other NXT matches. I'm going to have
fighting for his job. You know what I mean? It's like whenever they do that, oh, he's already fired. He has nothing to lose. He has to win this.
Okay, so because you just said that, I'm going to say he's not going to win because NXT does not need to be just like the main roster where it's too predictable. With when they say, oh, well, if he loses, then that's it. I'm going to say that Ciampa pulls off an upset. Only because I actually think Johnny Gargano can do more if he is called up to another show, whether it's 205 Live or SmackDown. I think he definitely deserves to be elevated to another level. I also think Ciampa also needs to be elevated, but I'm going to say, for the sake of the fact that you actually want him to move away from NXT, well, the fact I want him to be elevated, I'm going to say he won't win.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys make excellent points. I just decided I'm I'm gonna try to think a little differently and see what happens, but we'll see. So Gary, I know you probably don't know these guys. So
one little other thing. Remember, Johnny Gargano's wife? She signed with NXT.
Yeah,
So
Candice LeRae.
Yeah, and that's why I feel it also makes more sense for him to stay with the brand because she's.
So here's the thing. Even if he wins that match, he could still get called up because whenever they do the shakeup, that could still happen. Now obviously I don't think it's going to happen right away because we'll get into that later. We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But we'll see that it could happen. So that's a good point. That's a good point. So I would say Johnny should win. I'm going to say though I think Ciampa will find a way to get it done, but we'll see. Only because I figure there has to be some type of shock factor. But again, there's other matches on here that could be just as shocking. So we'll see.
So then I'll do the prediction for Gary for this because he doesn't watch it, but when he does watch it, he'll also agree that Johnny needs to win this. And while he was watching it, says, "Wow, Johnny's gonna win this." So I'm putting Johnny wrestling.
Okay, there you go. So Johnny unanimous, except for one person, me. So you guys win that.
That Johnny name sounds familiar. Like, what's his history?
Mainly indies. He's a cruiserweight guy, but mainly indies. He's never been in WWE. This is his first real go. Yeah. Ciampa's been in WWE for a while, and then he different look and everything, and then that didn't work out. Left, came back. But with Gargano, this is his first real run.
Yeah.
Was he an Impact or anything?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, I don't remember seeing him in Impact. He did a lot of CZW and other promotions. I think he was in Ring of Honor.
I heard the name before.
That's all right.
You probably have. Let me look him up while you do that. Let's see.
Yeah. So, let's move on to the next match on the card. While you look that up, we now have.
Oh wait! Breaking news.
Breaking news. What is that?
Sky Steiner just showed up in the ring. It's not looking so good.
Oh, he's not looking good. Uh-oh. Well, something's wrong with him.
Oh, okay. You know what? Breaking news. I'm on delay. I didn't realize that. He lost. It's over.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
What?
Okay. So next up, and this goes back to what you guys were talking about earlier. So we have the triple threat tag match for the NXT Tag Team Championship. We have the Undisputed Era, which will consist of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly facing off against the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. So first and foremost, I'm going to go with Ricky's pick for this match. This may surprise you or may not. He thinks that Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne are going to win that match. Hey, it's certainly possible, right? Because they already had it. They had to have a little bit of a rivalry going on right now as well. I'm going to say that I think the Undisputed Era will retain because I'm thinking about the fact that Adam Cole, the last couple matches he had, with the exception of that match they had at NXT, I forget the name of the tag match they had, the first ever that they brought back. That's the only match I've seen him win. I know he lost to Aleister Black at the last NXT event takeover. So I think you want to make Adam Cole look good, unless of course you have him win in the other match, which we're going to discuss here momentarily. But I think Undisputed Era will win this match. I think the Authors of Pain are going to get called up to the main roster, and they will either be on Raw or SmackDown next week because it's long overdue for them to finally get called up. And as for Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne, I don't know. They may still do something with those guys. We'll see. But yeah, my pick is Undisputed Era. How about you, Dana?
I'm going Undisputed Era because the Authors of Pain, they're getting called up. We need some more tag teams. They're getting called up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, how about you, Adam?
I'm putting this in Undisputed. No, I'm saying I'm gonna have to say because this is tough because I think Yeah, I'm gonna say with the Roderick Strong and the Bruiserweight. I think they're gonna win because remember, whoever wins this title also wins the Dusty Rhodes Championship, that trophy.
Hmm.
You know, and it just doesn't make sense for the Undisputed Era to win that also because they weren't involved in it.
Ah, okay.
You know, so it's
Okay.
like, oh, so you not only do you retain the titles, but now you win a trophy. You know, and that's not right. So I think to put the spotlight, because that's what all these things are for, especially like when it's a trophy, it doesn't really mean much. It's just more like, hey, look, spotlight, look what they did. They've had some accomplishments, and they're really pushing Roderick Strong. You know, he was on 205 competing for that title. You know, and then now they have him doing this, and then with the Bruiserweight that we're done. Yeah, he has the UK title, but that whole brand, that show has been in limbo land. So it's like, all right, let's do something with this. So more spotlight. Look at these guys. You know about Altars of Pain. They've won it twice already. You know, so they are definitely going to move up, but I don't see them winning this. And Undisputed, they're not a tag team. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, Adam Cole is there, you know, filling in for Fish, but he's not part of that. That's not his thing. He has other plans. You know, he's going for the title, that other title, which I could see him easily winning. You know, we'll talk about that later for that ladder
Yeah,
match.
we definitely gonna talk. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but he's in that. His mindset is somewhere else. He's just filling in for Fish. So it doesn't make sense for him to win this, for them to win this, because then that means he has to be part of that defending it. And it looks like Fish is going to be out for a while because he has surgery.
Yeah, he is gonna be out for a while.
So there's no point. This is no point. Got to take the belt off. Got to take the belt off.
Yeah, the very good points. And then also, I will add that I don't think that Roderick Strong has won any titles yet in WWE.
Nope.
So,
nope.
Yeah, I think it's time for that to change. So that's very good points. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I'm still going to keep my pick. I'm not going to change it up, but I agree that's probably what's going to happen. So we'll see. All right, let's move on to the next match.
And Gary also agrees with Strong winning.
Yeah, so. I know Gary doesn't know these guys, but
well, that's why I'm putting him down. Don't worry, Gary, we're winning this. Just so you know, we got all over right here.
Yeah, don't worry. Gary knows a lot of the main. He'll have a lot to say about the WrestleMania matches, I'm sure. So we get to that. Okay. We have Ember Moon defending the NXT Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler. Honestly, I think it's time for Ember Moon to get called up. So I say Shayna Baszler wins this match. And Ricky also chose Shayna Baszler. Only because I mean they had Ember Moon in the Women's Rumble match. She more than likely may be in the Royal Rumble. I mean to say the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal too. So I just feel like it's I don't really think there's anything left for her to do in NXT. You could have her have a run with that title if you want to build up the other women that are in that division. But for some reason, I just think, when I think about the last match that she had and how it ended with the whole arm thing, I think if you want to really, switch things up, you will put that belt on Shayna Baszler. And because the thing is, she also has a feud with Kairi Sane right now. So that right there would be the next logical opponent for her to have after she beats Ember Moon. So I say Shayna Baszler. How about you, Dana?
I just want to start out by saying Shayna Baszler is what I wish Ronda Rousey could be in the ring.
Give her time. Stop hating on that shit. Bitch shining the hate on her. Oh, man.
Hating on her. I'm just saying you have two women from the UFC who are both green, and the level of improvement and the way that Shayna is just amazing. I really wish that Ronda was like just 1/16 the level of she was.
It's gonna happen. Give it time.
We are not going to live forever. How long do we have to wait?
She hasn't even had a match. Can you wait till she has a match? Holy moly. You make it seem like she's been wrestling every week and getting worse. We have not seen her perform yet. She's not even WrestleMania isn't going to be a good example of that. Wait till she starts doing one-on-one matches and hurting people for real. Then I'll agree with you. But right now, nope.
She should have wrestled the Monday after WrestleMania, but that's a whole other thing that I'll get into. It's horrible. But anyway, Shayna's amazing. Ember, she's great as well. The way how they built this and the way how they kept building all of their matches is just, I love it. It's just such passion that you see between both of these characters. But I'm picking Shayna. I am picking Shayna because one, she deserves it. Ember, she had it and she's great as well, but we need to give it to Shayna at this time. And she's really worked hard and I really feel that she deserves it. And, this is her opportunity. And I want her to have her pre-WrestleMania moment. And as to for Ember, I'm afraid for her to get called up because I just think she'll get lost in the whole kerfluffle that is probably SmackDown or Raw. Either way, I think they're equally horrible at this point. But Shayna's gonna win. Ember Moon will get called up. But they both deserve a really great match, and they're gonna put on a great match.
Sounds good. How about you, Adam?
Baszler is almost 40, so boom, she's amazing.
Oh, I didn't know she was that old. Wow.
Take that, Mickie James. Take that.
It's so crazy that you're hating on somebody who hasn't even wrestled yet. Like, that's the thing. I can understand. If anybody was to jump in right now and hear this, they would think that she's been wrestling for months and you just didn't like any of her in-ring performance. We haven't even seen her perform yet.
I'm not hating on Ronda. All I'm just saying is that I love Shayna.
She had 1/4 of the
1/15. Giving me too much credit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, but how did we know she doesn't? We don't know. We don't know.
We've had little previews of her throwing.
That's not no. Those are set pieces. We need to actually see when she's getting in there and she's rolling around and she's doing moves and she's getting into the flow. Once you get into the flow, things start going. It's like playing music with let's say if you play an instrument, like I played an instrument, right? And if I'm getting with a bunch of guys, come on, we're gonna jam together. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll just play some, and then you're like, oh, bing, bing, bump, and then after a while, or like when me and Rich, we were jamming yesterday, right? Piano, banjo, we were rocking out, but after a while, you get a groove and you're like, oh, I can do this. All right, yeah, we're making some stuff. We're making music. And it's the same thing. When she gets in there and she works with somebody who's actually going to work with her, they can start working on spots and she has a good feud. That's it. That's when we'll know.
We've seen those videos, and then it's WWE's fault. The way how they're framing it or something is just really tacky and really horrible, and it looks like a gimmick match. It really does. It's already 3 years too late. And those little vignettes that they put together, her training, that's great and all, but it's the whole package that I feel that's just lacking. And you can't even say she's green in that part because they put her on the mic. They put her in the ring. And I'm very happy that I do see Ronda as being much happier here in the WWE than she was in the UFC. She has this glow and she just radiates happiness. And that's great for her. But she sucks on the mic. And I think
give her time. She's really good on the mic. She's just nervous. It's green. Don't worry. She'll get over it.
You're really working, and you keep telling me, she's.
Just look her up. Look her up. Look up stuff that she did on Tough Enough and stuff like not Tough Enough. Ultimate Fighter. When you hear her shoot promos and stuff that she was doing, then you're like, wow, she's made for wrestling. She can definitely do this, and she could. It's just gonna, it's all new. When she gets more comfortable, where to the point that she doesn't even see that crowd when she goes out there anymore, then that's when it'll come in. Yeah. But I think it'll be there. Watch, you'll love her. She's gonna be your favorite. We'll get you a T-shirt. We'll get you a T-shirt.
I don't want the T-shirt. Shayna and Ronda has been at the same level, and Shayna has just surpassed her. So, and she did it in a short amount of time.
Well, Ronda didn't ask to be put on the main roster. They just did that, so she had more time. This is different. There's a lot of pressure in this situation. Shayna's not under this type of pressure. She started at NXT where you can only see it on the network. Ronda's out there. They were doing the whole thing. She was champ for a long time. There's a lot of pressure on her. So
they need to just figure out something now.
I think Shayna's going to win. Shayna's going to win it. I mean, the old saying still goes, heels make better champs. You could just do a lot more when a heel. He or she can cheat and get away with stuff and get booed, but that's the point. That's why we all loved Seth Rollins when he was a champ, because he was a dirty heel. He was always doing horrible things. And the same thing. She's going to be a heel. She's going to win probably by cheating or doing something. And then it'll work out. and Amber Moon, it's time for her to come up. You know, so she'll go up and do something else. But I think, yeah, definitely Shayna's time.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have the NXT Championship match. We have Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega versus Aleister Black. Aleister Black is winning, and Andrade is getting called up. That's my pick. And Ricky's pick is also Aleister Black.
Me too. That's an easy one. So we'll all go on Black.
All right. How about you, Dana?
Hi, I'm an individual. I go for Almas.
Uh-oh. Whoa. Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. I wasn't expecting that.
I think that you guys are jumping the gun a little bit with this title change.
It's about time for him. He has to be the face. They already said it. He's the face of the brand. So
you can still be the brand and lose some matches.
Oh, he's still undefeated. He's not losing. Remember, he still hasn't lost. So he's not going to lose the first match in a title match.
I think that Almas might maybe, start doing other things. I see Black winning. He's main roster.
Black is going to win. Black is winning. Black, that's what we're saying.
No, I just don't know. I'm torn, but I'm going with Almas.
I have a feeling in my mind that Black is going to be what what's her name? Asuka was. I think he's going to leave there undefeated. That's my thing. He's going to win the belt, defend it a bunch of times, and then he's going to give it up and move up.
Well, he had the second longest NXT title reign. So yeah.
I thought he lost the match on NXT.
No, it was
disqualification.
He had a fatal 4-way where he got pinned, but that wasn't a singles match.
Okay, so they count it differently then.
Yeah, no, he's never lost a singles match.
Okay, all right, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, I definitely understand Dana saying that Almas will still win. So I won't completely discredit that. What I'm curious to see is what is going on with Drew McIntyre, whether or not they're going to have him come back to get his rematch, or is he just going to go straight to the main roster? Because I thought he was headed to the main roster when he lost that match. So we'll see how that pans out.
I say main. I mean, you just brought up a good point, because I mean, technically the music could hit.
Yeah.
And remember, he got hurt during that match. He lost his belt to Sienna. And once the music hits, Sienna gets distracted. Black hits him with the black mass, and it's over. And then he loses that way. But then, Drew is back. But I don't think so. I think it's time for Drew to come up. I think, if anything, we might see Drew at WrestleMania, only because he is a name. He was in WWE. Vince likes him. So he knows that if he comes out, he's going to get a big pop. Even if people didn't watch him in Impact or anything, they know the name. They know him.
Yeah, that's true.
So I could definitely see him, and so we'll see.
We'll see. Very good points. We'll see. But so Dana had Almas, and the rest of us had Aleister. So we'll see how that pans out. Yeah. Almas may pull it out. You never know. We'll see. All right, now on to the next match, which in my personal opinion, and no offense to the NXT title match, but this should be the main event of the NXT TakeOver tomorrow night, in my personal opinion. And that is, of course, the ladder match for the NXT North American Championship. We have Adam Cole facing off against EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream. Now, Ricky's pick for this match may surprise you. Maybe it won't. It's EC3, which is interesting. Now, I will admit that I have not been watching Impact, so I don't even know what this guy has been doing in TNA for the last couple of years. So I don't really know I know that a lot of people hype him up, so I'm very curious to see how he actually performs in that match. But considering the fact that he made a video talking trash about the other competitors in that match, that is out there now. The video is everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say, I may have to go with EC3 as well, only because, I think Ricochet, obviously, for him to debut, I mean, I guess he's already had maybe a few matches, but for him to debut at NXT and win a title, that may be a little bit too quick. I could see him in a feud with EC3 once EC3 wins the title. And as you already said, Adam, the heels with titles is they can do more with the heels. The only reason why the Velveteen Dream, the only reason why I wouldn't say that he's going to win this is because more than likely this is who Aleister Black is going to have another feud with once he wins that title belt, unless someone else steps up to the plate. But I also have to say EC3. So how about you, Dana?
I predict this will be the scene stealer match of the night and will be amazing. I also predict EC3. I'm a little bit torn between EC3 and Ricochet, but yeah, I'm gonna have to just probably end up going with what you said. I'm gonna go with EC3 as well. I do love Velveteen Dream. I do love him so much, but I just don't think that he needs the belt at this moment. I don't feel it. But I like EC3. Okay. So how about you, Adam?
This is tough. No, it really is tough because a part of me thinks it's so obvious. So I don't know if you guys watched NXT on this past Wednesday. Did you watch it? Did you watch it?
Dana did. I missed it.
All right, Dave. Well, the reason why it's very miserable. There's nothing really happened, but it's going home. It's getting to the main event. But the reason why I bring it up is because they had one of those old classic WWE moments where everybody runs into the ring and sort of like fights and does stuff, like building up to like, oh wow, this is like our preempt of what we're gonna see at the event. They didn't fight, but they all kept running in. And the last person to come in was Ricochet. Now, when everybody came in, they just ran down to the ring and started talking trash to each other and stuff. Ricochet's music hit, his own custom music. He comes running in and he does the Superman flip, which is where he springboards off, but he lands on one knee with the hand down like Spider-Man type of thing, and everybody just like stood back and watched him and the fans went nuts. So he is definitely the highlight for this event, and the way that they want to push this new title, I think it makes sense to put it on someone like Ricochet because he's going to have so many eyes on him because of what he can do in the ring. So if you want to hype the belt and the wrestler and the brand, this is your guy. This is the guy. Because, I mean, is he great on the mic? Not so much. But, man, can he work. The things he does in the ring. I mean, there's highlight reels up the wazoo. I mean, he's innovative moves that no one else can do. The guy does a double moonsault. A double moonsault. That's crazy. I think, but we're still in WWE world. So I don't know if that's going to happen. In WWE world, what fits is someone who's been putting his time, somebody who is on the cusp of being seen as one of the big players. So how do you do that? You reward them with something, and that's Velveteen Dream. I see him winning this. So if it's not Ricochet, it's Velveteen. That's it. We're also forgetting the other big man that's in it. The guy from Colorado is in that match.
Lars Sullivan?
Yeah, Lars Sullivan's in it. I don't see him winning it, but you need flyer and catchers, and he's a catcher. You got a bunch of flyers, but you got guys that can catch. So I think he's going to play a big part in that. But I don't see him winning. But yeah, either Velveteen Dream or Ricochet. No, EC3. EC3 is great. He's a great worker and everything, but I don't think so.
That's good. Because
I love the design of the belt.
Oh yeah.
Just love it. It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful. You had a lot of really great things to say about you all had great things to say about those picks, but I mean, I very much enjoy Ricochet. So if he wins, I will have no complaints about that.
And you were a big Velveteen fan. I'm surprised you didn't go.
Oh yeah, Velveteen. Well, only because I'm thinking of who is Aleister Black going to face next after all this other stuff happens with once he wins the belt. Who are they going to put him up against?
Well, that's the thing. He wouldn't go against any of these guys, whoever wins, because this is a whole different title.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like I think EC3 should go for the main title. I think the what's his name, the big brawling guy we just talked about, like Lars, he could go for that title.
Yeah. Lars Sullivan.
Yeah. I think those are main players. I think when it comes to something like this for this belt, which I see as like an intercontinental belt, this is their version of an intercontinental belt. They're strong mid carders. You're the best of the mid card right now, working your way up. Then give it to Ricochet. Even Velveteen Dream, I want him to win it, but I think he also deserves to be up top. He's had some good feuds with Black. So, if you think long term, it just makes sense that someone like Ricochet gets this belt and everybody else sort of sprinkles up, and then you could just shuffle things around. But we'll see. But those are my two predictions. And you said you think that it's going to be EC3.
Yeah. Me, Dana, and Ricky said EC3.
Okay.
So
Ricochet.
Oh, say what?
I'm torn a little bit with Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet. Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't injure himself. That's my thing.
He knows how to work injured. The guy's injured right now, constantly. No, if you ever hear any of his interviews, they're like, it's amazing how you don't get injured. He's like, I'm injured right now. It's like, what? I'm always injured. He's like, I never get to really heal. I'm always injured. He's like, everything hurts. Every time I do moves, it hurts. He says, but once I'm in there, the adrenaline pumps.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Well, we'll see about that. Okay. So definitely NXT TakeOver. Looking forward to that tomorrow night. Definitely check it out. We have to come back and talk about our predictions as to, how many we got right or wrong. But let's move on now to the big show, the show that I know Gary definitely will be watching from start to finish on Sunday, and going well into Monday morning, because that's how long the show is going to actually be. We're talking about WrestleMania 34. So let's go ahead and let's start with a couple of the pre-show matches that have already been confirmed. So we have the match that, okay, let's start with this. This is a match that, in my personal opinion, should not be on the pre-card. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Smack in the face. What are they doing? They're hyping this up. They did the whole reformat of it. It's awesome now. It's great. And then you bury it. To the point that you even had to have their GM guy come out. And I know it wasn't a shoot because everything is scripted, but the way it came off was like, hey, you want to have a WrestleMania moment. You want to talk about great moments that you watch and stuff. Say that you were there watching this match. Say that you saw this match live, because they need people to tune in. That's happening early.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, man. It's like, and we shouldn't be surprised, because we saw this happen with Austin Aries and Neville. And they didn't get any of that WrestleMania money either. So that kind of sucks. But man, this is going to be one hell of a match. Both of these guys can work. This is going to be a fun match. And it sucks that they're doing all this hyping up for 205. Yeah, go watch it on the network. It's amazing. All right, so you got this title match. You finally had the 20. Yeah. All right, it's going to be on WrestleMania. Well, no. It's going to be pre-show or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, come on. Why would you do that? And they're like, oh, because we got the card stacked with all these other matches. Yeah, there's some of those matches that don't need to be there. You could easily move those shits down. How about the Braun Strowman Barb? That doesn't need to be there. That could have been a damn pre-show.
Well, you know why that is? Because they're hyping up whoever his opponent, whoever his partner is. They're making that a big deal. That's the only reason.
I have a few predictions when we get to that. But for this one, I say Ali wins. I go with Ali. I love the fact that you have Mustafa Ali, who that's not his name. That's not his real name either. That's a gimmick name that they gave him also. And it's the whole thing. He is Muslim, but they're not going with the whole gimmick, of the stereotype that they usually do. I love that. He's a guy from Chicago, and that's fine. That's it. That's the way it is, then that's cool. Because that's it's real talk. I mean, we all know people. We're all from different walks of life, but we all qualify, whether it's American, wherever we're from. That's just where we're from. That's who we are. And I hate the fact that every time someone comes in, they're like, oh, what's your ethnicity? Oh, well, that's what we're going with. That's going to be the gimmick. Why would you do that? So I'm glad, and I have a feeling that it's going to work for him, and I think it'll be great. Alexander's awesome too. Awesome, but I think Ali I don't know. I just pick Ali.
Okay, so Ricky also chose Mustafa Ali. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how about you, Dana? Who do you have? Mustafa Ali or Cedric Alexander?
Mustafa.
Wow. Yeah.
And You're tuning in for that. That starts at 3 p.m.
Oh man,
I'm not even joking.
I can't even do it.
The pre-show
is nuts.
4:30, and then the show is at 7.
Oh my god!
Remember, we have 2 battle royals and other stuff.
They should have just put this at 2:05. They should have just did it on Tuesday. And more eyes would have been on that than are going to be on this damn thing at 3:00.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Oh well, that's all right. So I think this is a unanimous decision. I also say Mustafa Ali. I think I did see that promo that he cut that everybody was talking about. Yeah, I think this guy definitely is the one that is gonna win it. Now I really like Cedric Alexander. I didn't like that they had him in that stupid storyline with Alicia Fox some time ago, but maybe
remember with that other guy? The other guy's out hurt. No Man Dar.
Oh yeah,
that's the whole thing. A lot of people are like, oh, he got released. I'm like, no. According to the profile page, he's still with them. He's just dealing with an injury, recovering from an injury.
Oh, okay.
So he's still around.
So we'll see about that. But yeah, Mustafa Ali, I think that's my pick. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, Gary, you have something that you want to add?
I'm going with Mustafa Ali.
See, I didn't even know that Gary know about the cruiserweights.
I don't, but that name sounds great. So I'm going.
There you go. That's good. See, the name did it. Okay, so that's a unanimous decision. So we'll see about that. So we now have. Let's move on to the next pre-show match, the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Okay. Ricky's
this is a bathroom break for me. So
hey, you're not supposed to say that now.
I can say whatever I want because come on now, that's a squash. It's a squash match.
All right, so here's the thing. Ricky's pick for this match is Sasha Banks. Okay. Now my pick is going to be a little bit different from that. I know that right now Sasha Banks and Bayley, they have a bit of a feud going on. It probably will pop up in this match. But it's an over the
top battle royal word, right?
Wait, I don't know if it's over the top. It's not. That hasn't really been specified as what I'm looking at right now.
Because I think the one with Andre, that's an over the top battle royal. So you have to throw the.
Okay, so it probably is. It probably is that then. Okay, so but here's what I say: Sasha Banks and Bayley. That's not, in my personal opinion. If that's a feud, you can't bury that feud in just this match. I think that has to continue beyond this match, if it is going to actually continue. So my pick to win is someone who I think has been severely underutilized on the main roster for a long time, and that is Becky Lynch. That will be my pick to win that match. So
did they say what they get if they win this match?
They didn't say.
You didn't see the uterus trophy?
I saw the trophy.
I thought. I mean, nobody wants that. I mean, aren't they going to get like a title shot? They should get something out of this, like besides that.
Trophy.
Oh, I guess it's supposed to be good for their career to be elevated. I guess.
No, I mean, we've seen them.
Forever making history as being like the first winner of the Battle Royal, and you get the trophy.
Yeah, and then you are forgotten about, and they don't do anything with you afterwards. I guess I don't know.
You're female Baron Corbin.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. So yeah, I say Becky Lynch. Ricky said Sasha Banks. So who was your pick, Dana?
Oh God, can I just say that I completely forgot Naomi existed until like a couple hours ago.
Yeah,
they're doing such a terrible job. They're not even marketing this.
Because of all the bad press that went on it, they put all this dirt on it. So now they're like, whatever. We can't scrap it now. Well, we could. No, we can't.
At the end of the day, you can still promote the Women's Battle Royal. You're making history. Yeah, you had a couple, pimp episodes with the whole Mae Young situation and the abuse allegations, and that wasn't really good. And the statue looks horrible. But you can still promote it. It's making history. So I'm just so confused about what they're doing with that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. You know what? I'm going to say Becky Lynch deserves it more. Sasha and Bailey, I can see eliminating each other. Naomi, I forgot existed, and they haven't been promoting her, so she's gone. Natalia, I don't like her. And the Riot Squad has just been so boring and bland. And ever since Paige left, or, because that whole injury thing, I think that the whole sparkle is just left from that. And I don't care about them. So I'm going to have to go with Becky Lynch. She deserves it. She's really great in the ring. And she has that type of personality and charisma. And she needs it. It would be great for her to have it. I'm going Becky. And also, don't forget Dana Brooks. They just added also. So, yeah, I don't know why she's in it either. I'm sticking to Becky.
Yeah, I think they did say that NXT women will be in it. There'll be some surprises also. I don't think.
Or if could actually just come and win it and,
With who?
continue her greatness there.
With who?
Amber.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. After she loses the previous night, yeah, that's definitely possible.
Yeah, so she can do it. I'm going with her, with Becky.
Okay. So how about you, Adam?
Well, I'm out making a sandwich and stuff, so I wouldn't really care. So I'll just say Becky because I think it's pointless. And it has nothing to do with them being women because I'm looking forward to Asuka and Charlotte. It's just I think this is a pointless gimmick that they're doing. So,
all right. So Gary, do you have a pick? And I would like to tell you right now that Alexa Bliss is not in this match, so you cannot say that.
Oh, that's a bummer. But I think I'm gonna go Becky Lynch too, just because to me it seems like not much is going on the SmackDown roster when it comes to the women. It seems like Charlotte's, the big draw over there. So I think they're probably going to give it to a SmackDown woman just to kind of boost the roster a little bit on SmackDown. So I think Becky Lynch makes sense.
That is a very good point that I didn't think about. Yeah, very, very good point. So we'll see. Yeah, so good picks all around. Okay, let's move on to Adam's favorite match of the entire pre-card matches, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So Ricky's pick for this match is once again Adam's favorite wrestler, as he confirmed on this show, Big Cass. That's who Ricky's pick is.
Ricky's pick is Big Cass.
I personally don't think Big, like I said, Big Cass is fine, but I don't know. I don't know if the goal is if Drew McIntyre is getting called up, then I think that's the guy you want to that Vince is going to want on Monday Night Raw, and then you can move Big Cass over to SmackDown since Vince doesn't care about SmackDown. That would be my guess, but I honestly have no idea who's going to win this particular match. So I'm going to hold my pick off for a second. Adam, who do you think is going to win that match?
Bobby Lashley. That's it. I'm throwing it out. They're gonna put something out of nowhere. Whether it's you could say Drew and this and that, but shit, if we're throwing that out because we don't think any of the names they've already mentioned are gonna win it, so then fine. I say Bobby Lashley. We know he's signed. Every wrestler under the sun is in New Orleans, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's not there. So then why not? It'll be believable. He's a huge guy. He's known by the universe because he's been there for years, so they know him. So it's not like a nobody coming in and winning it. And it's an over-the-top battle royal. It's not really typical. It's just picking dudes up and throw them. He's a big, strong dude. You can easily see him coming in and cleaning house. Now, isn't the Big Show in it? I heard the Big Show is in that.
The Big Show is in it. Matt Hardy is in it. Yeah.
Well, no, we know Matt Hardy, but he's definitely not winning that. And he's definitely not winning that. I love him. I love Woken and the whole that thing, but it just doesn't fit in the story with what he's doing.
Well, hold on. One point that has to be made. Yeah, he definitely won't win it, but I don't necessarily think you have to be big to win it because Cesaro has won it in the past.
But he was known as the strongest guy in the back. He's super strong. Remember, that was his whole thing. He is a Superman. The Swedish Superman. He is strong. We've seen him do some amazing things. He doesn't look it. He just has that crazy strength. So it's always been a big guy though, and even when what's his name Corbin won it.
Yeah.
So it has to be someone that's going to be big. So can Drew? Yeah, but story wise, it would make no sense. But Bobby coming in, it's like, what the hell? This is a mountain of a man coming, just tearing up house, and then that just like brings him to the forefront. Look who's back, wow. And then everybody gets to see that, and he's on that stage. So why not? I'll throw Bobby in.
Okay. So how about you, Dana?
That was so good. That was a good one. But maybe Bobby could go to NXT, and we could get some type of big surprise there.
I don't know. I think he's too big of a name to just send down to NXT. I think they would bring him up straight to the main roster. I mean, hell, even Maria Kanellis, they brought her straight to the main roster with her husband for him to wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Well, let's see. I could see. Yeah, I do agree with the whole Bobby Lashley situation, but just in case there's not going to be, a Bobby Lashley, I could possibly see Big Show winning.
Again?
Yeah, again. I mean, he just signed the multi-year contract. So maybe it's his, thing.
I'm trying to remember if Bobby's last feud before he left, was it with the Big Show?
Was it?
Because it was when he threw the guy through the cage. Shit. Let me look that up. You can keep going.
During the Elimination Chamber?
No, it wasn't an elimination. It was a regular cage match. Remember, he picked the dude up and he threw him. Oh, who was that? I think that was the first time they ever showed something like that. Damn.
I do want to say that I'm happy that Jim Ross is I think they're wasting Jim Ross, but he's going to be at the announcer's table for that one. Or, yeah. The thing is that they have people in there that I just don't care about. And they just added 5 more people that I just don't care about. They added Tyler Breeze, Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler, Tyler Dillinger, Mojo Rawley, Baron Corbin. Wouldn't that be funny if he won again? Goldust, Heath Slater, Rhino, Matt Hardy. Yeah, these are people that are like random people they just threw together. So if
like
not,
everybody gets their WrestleMania moment. These are all the people they couldn't put in regular matches, so they just bunch them all together so you could say they were all there and you saw every wrestler on the roster at WrestleMania.
True. You know what? I am going with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Kane is going to be for mayor. He's doing that. Remember, he's actually on the campaign trail with Undertaker. So I'm going with Dolph Ziggler. If Bobby Lashley does not come, Dolph Ziggler.
I think that's a great pick because they have done absolutely nothing with Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm. Remember that different character thing, and then he just came back as the same person. They don't know what to do with him. And remember, he's one of those boys that sticks with WWE.
Yeah.
He's always there. He's reliable. They pay him very well, as we all found out.
Mm-hmm.
He makes about almost $1 million a year. So I see Dolph winning.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent pick. I may have to agree with that pick as well because number one, I can't think of anyone else because again, there's a lot of people that we don't know about. Obviously, they're going to have some surprises, but as you guys alluded to, this is the reward for everybody to get on the card. I would think if you want this to mean something, it should go to somebody who was on the rise. That's why I would think it would be somebody else. But if not, then it's going to at least go to somebody who is loyal and sticks with the company. So Dolph Ziggler makes a lot of sense. But Bobby Lashley is excellent. But in my honest opinion, even I think that's too low for Lashley. I think when this guy comes back, he should immediately be in the main event scene. You know, they had the whole thing about him potentially facing Brock Lesnar. We know that won't happen now because Brock Lesnar's contract ends in a couple of days. But I think that is a match that could still happen if maybe at the last second they actually decide to actually do it. So I think him winning this. I mean, I think we spoke. You guys mentioned this last week. I believe it was either you, Ricky, or Adam. Bobby Lashley is somebody who you see on Raw the following night, not at WrestleMania. But I mean, anything could happen. So we'll see. We'll see.
That is true. Sometimes the Raw after Mania is better than Mania.
Oh, I fully expect that to be the case. I fully expect that to be the case.
It could be the whole, Undertaker didn't show, but I'm here for you.
All right, so wait, real quick. So his last match was on Raw versus Mr. Kennedy, is Bobby Lashley, and he hurt his shoulder and was out on injury. And during his injury recovery time, he asked for his release. WWE gave him his release, and that was on February 4th, 2008.
Okay, that's a long time.
Mm-hmm. And I remember when he asked for his release, because then afterwards, they started doing shoot interviews and stuff, and he just talked about that there was just a lot of racism backstage, and he was just fed up with it. And he got fed up with being typecast for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every storyline was supposed to be a typecast for him, and he just got fed up. And he's like, you know what? I don't even need to come back for this.
And I'm surprised also because Michael P.S. Hayes is still working.
Still there. Yeah, he's still there and still on writing staff. But they must have offered a lot of money.
Yeah,
money talks.
They had to after losing Brock. Vince is like, well, we got to replace him with somebody. So we'll see. Gary, you have a pick for this? It's kind of hard to make a decision because they didn't really announce everybody for this match.
Yeah. So since I'm the guest, I'm gonna make a bit of a crazy guess, and I'm gonna say that Samoa Joe is gonna win.
You know what? Return. I completely forgot that he's back now.
That works. I could see that too.
That's a great. Yeah, I completely forgot that he's cleared now and he's actually in New Orleans.
Yep.
That is a very, very good pick. Yeah.
Great.
I haven't picked for something too, but not for this.
Well, say what?
I haven't picked for something else also, but not this one.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get to the other ones, but that's a good one, Gary. I got to give you props on that one because I forgot that this guy he is in New Orleans. I do have confirmation of that, so that's awesome.
Hall of Fame.
He's at the Hall of Fame too.
Oh yeah, you see all these faces in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they go Mark Henry. Yeah, they go Mark Henry doing his speech now. Okay, all right. So let's move on now to the main card matches. Here's the fun part. Okay, since we already brought this up, the tag team match for the Raw tag team titles. Cesaro and Sheamus versus Braun Strowman and a mystery partner. So my pick for this match, it may surprise you. It is Cesaro and Sheamus. And the reason why I say that is because I know that they have been advertising that Cesaro and Sheamus are defending the tag titles against the Hardy Boys at the Greatest Royal Rumble event. I know that card is subject to change. But quite honestly, Braun Strowman, I think he needs a better title than the tag titles. I think it's rather disrespectful to put them titles on around his waist. He should be going after the world title. And if they're not going to have him be on the same show with Reigns to compete for that Universal title, send him over to SmackDown and add more competition for that world title hunt. So I say Cesaro and Sheamus they're gonna retain. They're gonna find a way to retain the belts. It is probably going to be because they pin whoever Braun Strowman's partner is going to be. I know people have speculated Rey Mysterio. There's a lot of speculation, but whoever it is, I still think that person is going to get pinned. They're not going to make Braun look weak in defeat, but they're not going to have him get pinned. But whoever his partner is, they're going to have that person get pinned. So I say Cesaro and Sheamus. How about you, Adam?
We gotta say it. Come on now, it's a no-brainer. No-brainer. It's gonna be Bray Wyatt. That's his brother right there. That's all part of the Wyatt family, and he's gonna be the new version of Wyatt, the crazier Wyatt. It's gonna come out, the woken Wyatt. That's what I think. I think he's gonna come out, and that's it, because he's not part of anything. He's not part of Battle Royal. We know that he went into the Lake of Reincarnation. Matt Hardy's already said that he's been woken. He's changed. And they did that whole thing online on Twitter and stuff that he's been reborn. So when do we get to see this new version? And he does have history with Braun. So Braun was like, well, I had to get somebody that I know, and poof, there you go. Then Wyatt comes out. So that's my pick, Bray Wyatt. And then they win the belts, and they take it from there. Yeah, they win the belts. Because the thing is, Braun is not, you want him for the title belt, but he did that. They did that a bunch of times with him. He's not getting the belt. They're just not giving it to him. Whether it's because he's still green and he's hurting people by accident, doing stiff shot stuff, whatever it is. But they've taken that out of his vocabulary about title shot. Now, look, he's all about just his tag thing. He's not saying, oh, I'm temporarily doing this, or, this was serious. So I have a feeling this is where he's going to be for a while until they figure out, because they have plenty of other guys that they need to work with. So at least for the main roster for the title once Brock is gone.
Interesting. Well, that sounds good. Okay, Dana, who do you have?
Or Bobby Lashley.
Only because I don't know how that'll work with Brock's character and how he's portrayed, because then that's like making them friends or something, and it doesn't. I don't know.
Or here's what they could do with Strowman. And they already teased this on the previous Monday Night Raw, which was really stupid, and the whole gimmick was dumb. Remember how they had Bryan Strowman?
Yeah, that was horrible.
And I don't put it past WWE. I don't put it past Vince McMahon. Braun and Bryan. And he just runs back and forth, changing attire.
Don't do this to me.
He can run under the ring.
Don't do this to me.
Don't put it past. Remember, Hornswoggle was Vince McMahon's kid. And he ended up being his son. Do not put it past them. I think it could be Bryan. And Braun ends up winning. Braun and Bryan.
Interesting. We'll see. Okay, Gary. Who's your pick?
I mean, I really, it's hard for me to guess, who the mystery is going to be. But I do agree with you when you said that the bar's probably going to, keep the titles, because it makes more sense for that, because then after you can do different things with Strowman. You can put him up against Reigns, or you can send him to SmackDown. I think he's bigger than the tag team title at this moment. So I think it makes more sense for Cesaro and Sheamus to win. But I really have no ideas on who the mystery partner will be.
Bryan.
Bryan. It could work for Bryan. Just to go off real quickly off of what you said, Gary, I agree with that. Also, because you have to remember the simple fact of this: the Authors of Pain are going to get called up. So whoever is the tag champions when that happens, they're going to be gunning for those guys. Now, it might happen on SmackDown, and we'll discuss that match next, or it might happen on Raw. And then in that way, you do not want to get Braun Strowman getting squashed by the Authors of Pain, and you're not going to have him squash the Authors of Pain when they're debuting on the main roster. So I do agree. No, I don't think he should get the tag titles. I think it should stay on Cesaro and Sheamus, because whoever they call up is going to take them belts from them. But we'll see. Okay. So yeah, the SmackDown tag titles. And I do believe that this is another match that Adam said he can't wait to watch. We have the Usos going up against the New Day.
Oh,
and
man.
the Bludgeon Brothers. So Ricky's pick for this match is actually, let me backtrack here for a second. Ricky also chose Braun Strowman's team, and he thinks that Big Show was the partner. So yeah, you guys are not the only ones that thinks it's going to be a title change. Okay, for the SmackDown tag titles, he says the Usos are going to win. I think I want the Usos to win this match, because they've held those belts, and they're the ones who, in my opinion, needed the belts, and they have presented themselves very well as champions. New Day, hell no, because I'm tired of the New Day. I'm tired of the gimmick, and I want this team to be done and over with. So I also will have to go with the Usos, at least for now, because the whole Bludgeon Brothers thing, it's a really silly, stupid gimmick to me. I look at these guys, big guys that have to use weapons to beat up their enemies. Come on now, man. That's a little ridiculous.
He had a hammer.
Yeah, that's it. So I have to also go with Usos. That's my pick. How about you, Dana? Who do you have in this match?
I'm going with the Bludgeon Brothers. I'm sorry. And I see the New Day breaking up. If we're going into like complete fantasy.
Yeah, that needs to happen. That 100% needs to happen.
And also, really, just to backtrack for like 1 second, remember Bray Wyatt was also Sister Abigail in drag. So again, don't put it past them for Braun and Bryan to win.
Yeah.
Nope. You just brought up everything, just validating that it will be a Wyatt family win all across the board, because then they're all going to be on one show. So then I could see Bray trying to help the Bludgeons win their match.
No, I don't. But here's the thing though. I don't see Bray, if he does do that whole reincarnation thing, I don't see Bray being Wyatt anymore.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. Remember, the whole thing is when people come out, they come out evil. They come out like monsters. They don't come out clean and good. He's not going to be Brother Love. You know what I mean? He's going to come out with like some weird contacts and be an eviler version, of what he is now. He's going to be worse.
Well, he already was a bad guy though. So
he was yeah. That's what he's going to be something else. He's going to be worse. I think he's going to be just real crazy.
But
not talk so much crazy.
This is WWE doing the Lake of Reincarnation, so he could easily come back as Sister Abigail. Like, they could do terribly, or they could take some goofy character.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think
this
so.
Is not like Matt Hardy.
No. Did you see? Oh, while we're talking about that, did you see with Goldust on Twitter? He was tweeting with Matt Hardy. He says, "I want to take a dip in the lake." Goldust said, and he said, "Well, I'll mow your lawn." It was funny. So, and he said, "Yeah, you're more than welcome." And he did his whole little speech about what happens when you go in the lake. And I think that'd be awesome. Dump a bunch of wrestlers that need new gimmicks in the Lake of Reincarnation. Just put them on a boat and just tip it. There you go. Everybody comes out brand new.
Put Vince McMahon in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Vince. Yeah, throw him in there. There you go. Wait, so Dana, you say Bludgeon Brothers?
They need to win. I'm tired of Usos. I'm tired of New Day. They need, they need to win. They need that push.
Okay, so that's fine. I mean, I like I had just said previously, whichever the others are paying to getting called up. So whether they're going to feud with the Bludgeon Brothers or Cesaro and Sheamus or whoever else, I mean, that's going to be the next challenge for whoever is next. So I look forward to that. But yeah, that's a good pick. How about you, Adam?
Bludgeons. Thanks to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Bludgeons.
I'm feeling we're going to see something like that.
Okay. How about you, Gary?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bludgeon Brothers because I think it'll be a more interesting angle just to have them win the titles and everything, and be like the new dominating force for the tag team division on SmackDown. And I guess there's like after Bludgeon Brothers win, there's various things they can do with the Usos and New Day. They could even make it like they team up with each other to try and take on the Bludgeon Brothers or something. So yeah, I think it makes for more exciting TV in the long run to have Bludgeon Brothers win.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Little side note, because when I was looking at the Bobby Lashley thing, and it's upsetting that Brock is not going to be around anymore, because Bobby Lashley is 15-2 in MMA. Like that's impressive. To just if they tried to hype the fight, it's like, oh well, he really fought in MMA. Well, he fought in MMA. He has a better record. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that would have been cool. All right, there goes that. But yeah, all right. So you pick Bludgeon. Everybody picks Bludgeon.
Yeah, except for me, I chose Usos. Ricky and I said Usos, so I don't have a problem with them giving it to the Bludgeons. But we'll see what they do. It's certainly possible. Okay. Next up, we have the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss defending the title against Nia Jax. Now, I will say this right now: the storyline and the way the things have gone, I think it is very obvious that Nia Jax is going to win. Because you have a storyline where the champion heel is, bullying basically the baby face now.
Mm-hmm.
And WWE is not they're supposed to not be about bullying. They have the whole campaign, all this other stuff. So in storyline, it would make no sense for Alexa Bliss to retain that title, because then you're saying, oh, it's okay to bully somebody, and that's it. This just because I'm just better than her, so there's no competition. So I think Nia Jax wins. I don't necessarily like the build of this or most of all of the matches on the card. I don't like how any of them have been built up, but yeah, Nia Jax is going to be the new Raw Women's Champion officially this Sunday. That's my pick. And Ricky's pick for that match also, I believe. Oh, well, no, he said Alexa Bliss. Interesting. Okay. So, Dana, who is your pick?
I just want to say that I really, really, really hate this match. They have built this terribly. Even if you exclude the whole bullying aspect of it, like, okay, I understand you're a heel, you have to bully, fine, just whatever. They have built this so crappily that I honestly don't care. But I will say that Nia Jax, I'm going to go with her. Just as like a ha-ha to Alexis. And then, Alexis can win the next pay-per-view.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Gary. I know you are a huge Alexa Bliss fan, so who do you have winning this match?
Yeah, like to me, Alexa Bliss is the perfect package. Like, she can really sell herself. She's great on the mic and she looks good and everything. So that's why she's been the champion so long. But I think if you're going to do that kind of storyline, you're kind of setting it up to have Nia Jax win. And I think she has to win at this point. So I think Nia Jax will win, and that will probably make the actual title picture a bit more interesting, because you have someone who's physically threatening with the title, so you can probably put up more interesting participants against her in the future. Like you can have Ronda Rousey against her. You could have Oscar if she doesn't win against Charlotte. You can do a lot of things with Nia Jax as the champion. So I think it's time to get the belt off Alexa, unfortunately, but I think in the long run we'll get better matches as a result.
Very, very good. Very good explanations. Okay, Adam, who's your pick?
I think Bliss is gonna win. She's gonna cheat. She's got her buddy that can help. That's what heel champs do.
Mickey James, right?
Mickey James is gonna help her cheat and get that win. So she's gonna get an ass whooping, damn right, and people are gonna be able to cheer. But when it comes down to the title, Mickey's gonna do something to interfere, and she's gonna get the win. So I think Bliss. I say Bliss.
Interesting. Okay, that's a good one.
If Nia does win, can I have her just look in the camera and just say, "Don't be a bully, be a star."
Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay, I remember that. Yeah. We'll have to call WWE and tell them to make sure they do that. Okay. Next up, we have the United States Championship match: Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev. Okay. So Ricky's pick for this match is Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
My pick is also Rusev. And let me explain why that is. Rusev debuted on SmackDown the exact same day he will be competing in this match a year ago. And so it is Rusev Day. He is the only one that obviously that Rusev Day thing is over. So I think they're going to utilize that. Randy Orton, he's on his way out of WWE at some point. He don't have that much time left. Maybe a little bit more time than Cena, but I think he's eventually going to be somebody who just walks away. Bobby Roode, I think, is going to go on to compete for other titles and maybe even might even get moved to Raw at some point and compete for the IC title. I don't know. And Jinder Mahal, he had fun as the world champion. They wanted to put him in this match to say, okay, they gave him something. They got him something. But I think it has to be Rusev because they haven't done anything with Rusev, and that Rusev Day thing is over. So, yeah, Rusev. You said Rusev also, Adam, correct?
Yeah, I go with Rusev. It's like you said, it's over. He's selling merch. It's all about merch, and they always give people titles when they get merch. We saw with Enzo, so it's like perfect. And then it's just icing on the cake with the whole, date of when he first arrived and all that stuff. So it really is Rusev Day, so he can create that. Like, it is my day. I'm sure they'll mention it during the show, and it'll work out. And plus, they have him talking more on the mic, and the guy is funny. He is legit funny, so I'm glad it's working out for him. Because again, what did I say about the whole typecast? What? Bulgarian? That's it. You're going to be Bulgarian. You come out, you can't speak a lick of English. You're going to have this hot chick come and talk for you. I'm fucking tired of that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Dana, who's your pick?
I think she's muted, but she said Rusev also.
Oh, she said Rusev. Okay.
No. Hey, hi. I didn't know it was muted. I had a whole monologue.
Okay.
I'm going with Rusev. I'm going with Rusev because, one, he's really over with the fans. Remember, he wasn't even supposed to be in this match, but because of his sales on his merchandise, it skyrocketed him and they put him in his match. Also, what many people don't know, or maybe they do know, Rusev threatened to quit. He threatened to quit a while ago. He wanted to resign. He wanted to walk away and leave. But they convinced him. WWE sat down and was like, no, we want you to stay and we will, give you the push that you need. And if you see now recently, he's been having a really lovely push. Also, he's over with the fans. This is something that I do feel that is geared towards him. I think that he needs to win this. I think that he deserves to win this. And he stands out. I want him to win. He's winning.
You know what I was thinking about with all this? Like, what? I don't know if I don't know if I could say I'm part of this WWE universe anymore, because think about the unicorns with New Day and all that shit. People love it. I don't get it. It doesn't click with me. The nerd and all that stuff with those guys. I don't get it, but people love that. And then even with the Rusev Day, I like Rusev as the performance, but I don't care about the whole Rusev Day. I don't get how that got over, but it did. You know what I mean? So it's like, what the people the things that stick in people's minds, that they fall in love with it. I find it amazing.
I think it's the children that drives it, and because when you have a kid, you take an interest in what the kid likes. So therefore, they're the one that's making the purchases, probably not for themselves, but for their kids, and that is why they're getting over with this, childlike gimmick. Unicorns and the bootios and pancakes and everything else. That's children.
Yeah, yes. I agree.
So what about Enzo? You think that was kids also buying all his stuff? You think they liked all the?
How you doing?
You sit around, old man nerd. How is that gonna run? You did that in ECW, the old days. That's not gonna sell. But you have the kids and like, oh yeah. Loser or whatever words that they're saying now. I think that's what it is. I think it's kids. So yeah.
All right. How about you, Gary?
Yeah, I want Rusev to win because I feel like WWE has kind of been almost burying him for a long time. Like, they've de-pushed him, even though I've always thought that he had potential. But it seemed like WWE were always adamant on, just kind of burying him and making him lose important matches and things of that nature. So now I really do think it's his time, like you guys said, because now he's over and he's actually selling merch. And I think this shows that that's something fans can do when we really want to get behind a wrestler. Like, we can support them by buying their merch, because then that will make WWE pay attention to them more. So I really want Rusev to win for that reason.
Sounds good. Very good explanation. Okay, let's move on. We got a couple more matches. We're almost there. We have the Intercontinental Championship match, triple threat between The Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. So Ricky's pick was The Miz. My pick also is The Miz, because they have this whole thing about Miz talking about, well, I have this winning streak. I have this streak as champion that's still ongoing. I understand that Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, it was rumored that one of them is headed to SmackDown. I hope it is Finn Balor, because he could do more on SmackDown. But I think with the way that they are positioned, the fact they have Miz lose matches from these guys already, and then you have these guys going back and forth, getting wins on each other, with Seth Rollins winning on Monday and Finn Balor winning the last time they had a match. I think it's The Miz. So my pick is The Miz. How about you, Adam?
Mine is Seth Rollins. I think it's time for him. He's going to win it. He's going to get that. Yeah, I see things changing for The Miz, but I think he's going to take some time off. He's got a baby and stuff. I think he needs a break. So I think that's what's going to happen. He signed a new deal, and he's got the TV thing that's working out for them, that reality show. So I think this all works out for him. He'll drop it this way. He doesn't have to get pinned for it, So that's going to happen, and then that's it. And hopefully this Finn Balor new gimmick doesn't happen. But yeah, I'm gonna show because I'm surprised you guys didn't see it. I thought I sent it to you guys.
I didn't see it, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, but my pick is Seth Rollins.
Okay, Seth Rollins. Okay, Dana, who was your pick?
Muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Boo.
Oh, my mic and mutations. Boo moo. Anyway, I am going to have to go with the Seth Rollins as well. As you guys previously said, he has a show that's coming up and the baby, and that requires a lot of work. So, yes, Seth. And they've been pushing him. So, I'm going with him.
We'll see about that. I mean, he had, like I said, he had that match with Finn Balor this past week. A lot of people, they felt a certain type of way with Balor losing that match, because Balor is over, despite what Vince McMahon says. So,
but they have not treated him with any respect that shows that he's over.
Yeah, and that's why I say they need to send him to SmackDown. They need to send him to SmackDown ASAP.
And that shirt that you were talking about previously, Adam.
Finn Balor for everyone. You see that? Yeah,
they're donating all the proceeds to the LGBT community.
There you go.
And you saw the picture with him, though.
Yeah, I saw it.
You see, and that's what I think. I think it's just selling merch. It's not going to be a gimmick change. Everyone's saying that they're going to change him to be the LGBT guy.
No. He already is in a very happy relationship with the lady from NXT, the reporter.
No, I don't think
they were at the Hall of Fame tonight, sitting next to each other. So
yeah, no. I mean, I'm talking about story-wise. I'm talking about the show that's what they're going to go with. That they're going to try to make him the character like that. But I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, they already have a character like that. That's what Velveteen Dream.
That's what I told people. That's what I said. They were like, "Oh no, this is not happening," because there's this whole thing that is like Stephanie's been pushing for this for a while, and I was like, "No, I don't think that character already exists." Velveteen.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead, Danny. You about to say something real quick?
I was just, agreeing that the whole thing with Seth and that the shirt is just for money. They're not pushing to anything.
Okay. All right. So, how about you, Gary? What's your pick?
It's for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, Intercontinental title.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't followed this match closely enough, so I'm just gonna say Miz, just because I really like him as a heel, so I'll just go with him.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, next up we have where do I begin?
Gary, I put the pick in the chat so you can see it. Okay,
we have this is the match. This is the match that Dana is looking forward to the most of every match on the card, and I'm going to go to her first because she loves hearing this name. We have Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, God.
So, Dana, how about you let us know what your pick is for this match?
Rock comes back, beats up Kurt Angle, and it's the proper match that they wanted 3 years ago. Ronda's gonna win because she's a name. She's a draw. You guys like
No,
her.
she doesn't have to win. She doesn't have to be the one that gets pinned. I could easily see Kurt Angle taking most of the beating. So
We love Gary. No, I mean, I cannot see her. No, she's gonna win. She has to win. I see her winning. I'm just really upset that no one has, brought up that whole fact of her getting kicked in the face twice, and I think that would have been like a good way to, start the feud between everyone. But I see her winning. I do see her, and Angle is gonna he's flip floppy, so I do see Angle probably turning on her and going with he's been that whole weird. Remember that whole stupid thing that they've been doing with Kurt Angle, and he's been like, "Oh yeah, they just wanted you back so that they can screw you over." That whole weird thing.
So you think all three of them are just gonna beat on her, and then somebody has to come out and save them? And is that when Bobby Lashley comes out because he's also an MMA guy? Like, do you think that's how this works?
Oh, I honestly see it. Her taking on all three of them. And that's how they're like, "Oh my gosh, she's the baddest woman now in the WWE."
And that's when you buy her T-shirt. Is that the point where you start clicking? Buy now.
No, I will never buy her T-shirt. No, but that's what I do see with her happening, and it's going to be that shining WrestleMania moment for her, taking on all three. Because we do know that she can do it, even though she does suck. But yeah I see that happening.
So okay. Ricky's pick is also Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. So there you go. I personally think that they kept playing up the fact you saw the video package of Stephanie working out with Triple H. They're trying to sell you this idea that Stephanie can also compete and should be taken serious. For that reason, I would not count them saying, okay, we're going to have Ronda Rousey lose this match so we can set up a feud between her and Stephanie so they can fight multiple times. So I think even though Ronda Rousey is an obvious choice to win in her first match, I think it would be an ultimate surprise to have Stephanie and Triple H win only to further the storyline even more. Now, they can still further the storyline if Ronda Rousey wins. But if you want the heel to really stick it to Ronda Rousey, that'll be an interesting direction for them to go. So I think Stephanie and Triple H. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, Triple H doesn't lose at Mania. We see that. He wins all these matches. He beats our legends like Sting and stuff. He doesn't lose at these things.
Oh,
and
well, he lost to Roman Reigns.
No.
So... yeah, he lost to Roman Reigns at Mania when he had the belt.
How long ago was that?
That was the year that me and Ricky went into Dallas. He lost. That was the main event. So he can't lose.
He can't lose? All right. Well, I don't see him losing this one. And I have a feeling that it's going to be she's going to do her little thing, Ronda, but I think it's going to be Kurt Angle that takes the hit, and then he's out, and then he loses, and they lose, and that's how that whole thing goes. But I don't know. I feel like with Stephanie, and it's a tough spot because she's not really a wrestler, but I think she knows more about wrestling, pro wrestling, than Ronda does. Mm-hmm. And then Ronda is more athletic, and could definitely do a lot more. But how much of that can she convert into wrestling? You know what I mean? Like the judo throws and stuff like that, she can do it. But it's a certain way of performing real moves on people in pro wrestling, so you're not really hurting them and pulling their shoulder out of their sockets, those type of things. So it's tough because part of me wants to think that this leads up to Ronda trying to get at Stephanie, and then Stephanie sort of hiring other women to fight her. You know what I mean? Like a gauntlet type thing. Like there's always she's always bringing somebody else to beat her up. Like what's that what Vince did with Steve Austin. Remember, he was always hiring the other people, and the corporation and stuff. Here, that you're gonna be fighting this guy. What? He was my friend, Now he's like, corporate mankind and stuff, and eventually leading up to a main match. But I feel like something like that's gonna happen. But I don't see Ronda or Kurt winning. I don't see that happening here, and I think Kurt will take the pin.
That's good. Interesting. Okay, Gary, who was your pick?
So my prediction falls more in line with what Dana said. I think it might even end in a no contest, and maybe Ronda Rousey just kind of like loses it, loses her temper and just beats everyone up, and then it just kind of leaves her standing there, like powerful in the ring and everything, and then that kind of makes it seem like it sets up her future in the WWE. Basically, makes her look strong. The fact that she dominated everyone, and yeah, I think I could see something like that happening. I'm not sure if they are actually planning to set up a Stephanie versus Rousey solo match or not. If they are, then it would make sense to do what you said, Rich, and have Triple H and Steph win, because then that can be a shocker moment at WrestleMania, and also it can set up that feud for a more long-term period, and then that might actually allow Rousey to get more comfortable in the ring as well, because Stephanie's not that threatening as an opponent, so they could go that route as well.
See, the only problem I have with all that is just that if Ronda starts beating up on the men, and that's something that WWE hasn't done since China, it's not a good look. They don't like it because they have a whole women's division. So every time people watch her wrestle, they'll be like, "But damn, she beat up Kurt Angle and Triple H. Why is she having trouble with Carmella?" You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah. I don't. That's a tough spot with that.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. It devalues the women's division.
Yeah, because then you gotta, her coming in
for a couple weeks now.
She's confronted them, but the only thing she did was she did that body. Was it not even a body slam? It was like a Bailey bomb to the table, But that's not actual wrestling. Like, she hasn't really wrestled the match and kicked his ass. But if she's in the match, and that's the thing, I think it's not a mixed tag. I mean, a real mixed tag. I mean, whenever Stephanie gets tagged in, she has to get in, right? It's not like Kurt Angle's going against Steph.
I think they might make an exception for this.
Oh no, they would have said that. No.
Wait,
that would have been breaking news.
If they can't show Kurt Angle punching Stephanie McMahon. Come on now, you know how many complaints they would get.
Show Ronda punching Triple H and Stephanie and Kurt. They can do that. Like, it's that weird double standard. Women now can beat up on men, but you just can't beat up on women. So I think, and it's WrestleMania, and it's something that will make news. So I'm not saying like she's going to go ground and pound and it's going to be blood and broken bodies, but I can see her tossing around and maybe land a couple of punches on Triple H and, Kurt Angle. Like little baby taps for Kurt, but like punching Triple H.
So, yeah, sure. You make a good point. Well, I mean, one thing I will say, Ronda Rousey probably will win the match. But I will say this, Ronda Rousey, and we know this, she does not take losing well. So what I'm curious to see is if she wins it, fine, great. How are they going to deal with her once she starts losing matches?
No, but she knows what this is. This is like acting. This is different. She knows it's stage. She knows that. She's cool with all of that. That's why she's cool with them, throwing her to a table and having this girl talk down to her. Some people that have big egos wouldn't want to do that. They're like, no, I need to look strong all the time. I have to look strong all the time.
Right, and Kurt Angle technically called her a bitch.
Oh,
whoa! It's a family-friendly show, Dana.
Yeah. WWE won't approve of that.
This ain't throwdown. Come on.
A female person of a dog, but they did. They did that on the air.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Kurt Angle did. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. Let's move on to the next match. And honestly, in my opinion, this is the match where I think there is going to be a turn because it sets up that way. We, of course, have Daniel Bryan returning to team up with Shane McMahon to face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now, let me just go ahead and say right now that obviously Ricky's picks were Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, and they have this whole thing where if Owens and Zayn win, then they are rehired to SmackDown. If not, they are fired. Now, my thing is this: Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they have already had this whole back and forth thing. Well, let's send them to Raw. Now, I don't want to see both of these guys get sent back to Monday Night Raw because the whole thing was that they were supposed to be separated in the first place. They never separated them. So I do know that they have been teasing ever since they started the storyline. Shane McMahon has a bit of a back and forth with Daniel Bryan. They made a very big deal on SmackDown this week when they had that whole conversation about, oh, we're cool, right? We're cool, yeah, we're cool. So I would not be surprised if Shane McMahon turns on Daniel Bryan in this match and causes them to lose the match because of the fact that they haven't really showed Shane as a heel yet. They've had him always get into these back and forth or disagreements with the wrestlers, but it has never gone full blown heel. So obviously, Daniel Bryan's first match back, you want this guy to win so that it looks good. But this is the type of match where I could see, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn do get the win because you're not going to send. Why would they want to fire these guys and send them away to Raw, which they're supposed to be your competitor, even though they may not even still be playing along with that whole angle. So I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will find a way to win the match, and it's going to be because Shane McMahon turns on Daniel Bryan. So I have to go with them. How about you, Adam? Who's your?
Nope, I don't see that only because we know that Shane needs to have surgery, and he's going to be out for a while. So after this, he's holding off surgery just so he can do this. So I see him taking an ass whooping. And that's how they'll just play it up. He takes an ass whooping. He's the weakest link. You're gone type of thing. And Daniel is going to look good. He's going to do what he does. And hopefully he doesn't get hurt, because you know how I feel about that. I don't want him back. I take concussions very seriously. And I don't like the fact that he doesn't, and I get it because this is all he knows how to do. I've heard that from boxers and fighters. I used to live in that world, and I've seen buddies of mine, and they know it's not good. Not good at all. And for him to just keep brushing it off, doctors say I'm cool. It's like, yeah, well, you think you're cool until you start taking those big bumps one after another. And then all of a sudden the brain just hits the side because now it's loose because you're prone to concussions.
Yeah.
And then you're done. Then you're feeling dizzy. Then you can't remember shit. Then they're like, how did you like your match? What match? I'm retired. Holy shit. He forgot he was at Mania. Nope, we don't need that. So, that's what I think. I think it's going to be like this. Shane's going to just get taken out early, and it's just going to be Daniel Bryan's show trying to do the whole thing with the other two.
So Daniel Bryan's going to win, or Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn going to win?
It depends if he can not get hurt. I don't know why. I have a feeling he's going to get hurt in this too. If he cannot get hurt, then yes, I could see him winning, and then I could see those dudes going to SmackDown. I mean, to Raw.
Yeah, that's what Ricky said. He said they're going to Raw. So
yeah, I could see them going to Raw because remember they already announced that they were going to do some kind of shakeup after this, so it only makes sense. Bump them up, then I'm sure some people will go down. We might see, Seth go down. He'll take the belt with him, and then they'll have a belt go the other way.
Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, that'll like that. I want to see that Intercontinental title move back to SmackDown. So
yeah, so they'll switch it up. That's what they do, and that's it.
Okay. Dana, who's your pick?
I am going to oh gosh. I hope that Birdie isn't fatherless by the end of
You see, you're agreeing with me now, you see?
I'm team Birdie. Let him live. Let him take him out early. Fake it. Have him get taken out early so that Kurt Angle is taking the whole brunt of this match. So I am going to go. Not Kurt Angle.
Shane.
He takes the whole brunt of everything, and then they give him an excuse, for him to go and have his surgery. So I do see Shane and whatchamacface Daniel Bryan winning. I just don't want to see anything else happen afterwards. And I do see the other two going to SmackDown. The Raw. Sorry.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
How about you, Gary?
I'm gonna go with Owens and Zayn on this one, just because I feel like they deserve the win. But I do feel like Bryan will, get a lot of spots off of in the match and stuff. Like he'll look good throughout the match. But I just feel like Owens and Zayn are actually gonna get the win.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. We only have 3 matches left. Told you this is a long show. Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have. Okay, let's go with this one. This is easy. Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. I think it is a unanimous decision. Roman Reigns is going to win. Well, I know Roman Reigns is winning. Ricky chose Roman Reigns. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, Roman. Let's just move on. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they have something crazy happen, it's definitely going to be Roman. Unless this whole thing, because remember his contract expires after. We don't know. Maybe they signed some weird deal where he can do the MMA again and wrestle because they have plans, and then it's on a limited schedule.
Triple H is doing the deal now, so I will hope the Triple H will be a little bit more intelligent than Vince in terms of the deal.
And then if that's the case, then he's not coming back, and then Roman gets it, and then we move on, and that's fine for me. I'm cool with it, because at least it's not on the part-timer anymore.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How about you, Dana? Mute.
Get mute.
I'm no longer muting myself anymore. This is ridiculous. I'm going with Brock. This whole thing has been some weird troll thing. Brock is winning. He's not going to the UFC. The whole segment and comment with Dana White was just to fake out everybody. Remember how Ronda Rousey was like, no, I'm not going to WWE. I'm filming a movie. Brock's not going anywhere. He's staying there. He's signing another 5-year deal, and we'll be stuck with him until the end of the world. He'll be the longest and only reigning champ. Brock.
Well, if that means Bobby Lashley shows up, I'm all for that. Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, yeah, I'd like to see that match. Okay. How about you, Gary? Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar?
I'm going with my dude, Brock Lesnar, man. Brock Lesnar's gonna win. It's gonna be revealed that there was a secret deal signed, and he can do his MMA, but he's also gonna have a program with Bobby Lashley. And then that's going to set up where he loses the title, I guess. So he'll lose the title to Bobby Lashley, and then Roman Reigns gets it from Lashley later on. So yeah, I'm going to root for my guy, Brock Lesnar. Even though that probably won't happen, but yeah, I'm rooting for Brock Lesnar. I'm not going against him on this.
Well, I just want to say I want Brock Lesnar to win only because I don't want Reigns to win. But I think they have already christened Reigns as the guy, so
they both.
We'll see. Yeah, they both are bad. I just want someone else to have the belt altogether. But it is what it is.
You gotta take what you can. This is what we got.
The only one. Vince is the winner.
Yeah, Vince wins. There you go. That's good. That's a good one.
Because he is the only one who cares about this.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, next up, this is going to be a great conversation. We have the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Now, Ricky's pick for this match is actually Asuka. Okay. This is a match where I feel like either Charlotte or Asuka could win, so it's going to be kind of hard to determine. But if I had to make a guess right now as to who is going to win, I would say it's going to be Asuka, because then you can move Asuka over to SmackDown and she can have a back and forth feud with Charlotte for the title for the next couple of months. So I say Asuka. How about you, Adam?
Oh, this is tough. This is tough because I mean, who do we see ever beating Asuka? everybody always said Charlotte, and then next you know, we have Ronda get signed. A lot of people are like, well, damn, that's a WrestleMania match there. So maybe we should just leave her as champ, and I've heard that too, that she might stay champ all the way until she goes against Ronda, and then Ronda beats her. But man, I want to say Charlotte. Charlotte ends it. It's here. It's at Mania. It's a big deal. It's on a big stage. It's with somebody who everyone wants to see win. If anybody could beat her, it would be Charlotte. So I'll go with Charlotte.
Okay. How about you, Dana?
I am going to go with Asuka and Carmella. That's how I see Asuka winning. I see some tomfoolery. Carmella comes down, some weird distraction or something happens, and she wins. And then she loses on Monday.
Oh, so you're saying that Carmelo is actually going to win the belt?
Yeah, she's going to win. And then only later on.
We'll see about that.
She has to do something.
Yeah,
she has to.
I think that's going to be a failed cash-in whenever it does happen. Because if you have a match where Asuka wins, okay, Charlotte couldn't beat Asuka, but Carmella can? No, I don't know about that.
That's why I see some tomfoolery coming down. I see some type of distraction happening, and that she ends up winning by some weird default technicality thing.
Oh, well, we'll see about that. That's an interesting scenario.
And they haven't been building up the belt at all.
Oh, no, they haven't.
The briefcase. They haven't even, they hardly mention it.
Well, I mean, she tried to cash in on SmackDown on Tuesday, so I guess
you listen to the announcers; they was all blasé about it. So she's had this for like a year now. This is a full year. This is ridiculous. So I do see some weird thing where she cashes in and she might end up winning.
I will say this: if she cashes in and she wins, it's going to be from Charlotte. I highly doubt they're going to say you build up Asuka all this time and have her lose that belt to Carmella. Charlotte could take the loss though, because Charlotte has lost before. So, but Asuka, I don't know about that. I mean that'll be a stretch.
Didn't they do some weird thing where, like, I think it was last year, two WrestleManias ago, where like Seth Rollins ended up winning?
Oh yeah, with the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that made sense though, because he already had a match with Brock earlier that same year with John Cena, and that was a great match. So he was already in that particular feud. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Carmella is not really. She doesn't have a good finisher. She has a horrible music. I mean, they need to do a lot more with her. And I'm thinking, if you want this person to be your champion, you definitely got to do a lot more with the character. But we'll see. Gary, who's your pick?
I want Asuka to win, and I want her to win clean. But what I think will happen is I think they'll have a great match for about 15 minutes or so, and then like with the Seth Rollins thing, I think Carmella will show up and insert herself into the match with the Money in the Bank, and then I think she'll get pinned by Charlotte. So then they can say that Asuka was never officially pinned, kind of.
Okay.
And that kind of keeps her credibility a little bit intact, even though she still technically lost, but yeah, she still has some sort of credibility.
See, the reason why that works, because I feel like one way or another you have to have a feud between Asuka and Charlotte. We haven't gotten a bit, the little back and forth conversation with each other is that needs to be like a feud. I can see that lasting for a longer period of time, not just WrestleMania. So yeah, that's fine. We'll see. Okay, let's move on to the final match. In my opinion, the match that should be the main event, not this Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar BS. That's AJ Styles defending the world title against Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, Ricky's pick is Shinsuke Nakamura. My pick is AJ Styles. And the reason I say it's AJ Styles for me is because I don't think they've done a really good job with Shinsuke at all. Ever since he came to WWE, you know, he had his little thing with Dolph Ziggler. I still don't understand why that was the first opponent that they gave him, the first feud they gave him. I didn't understand that at all. They've done some. They have now. Don't get it twisted. He has improved a lot. I like the little promos he had. That most recent promo he had with AJ Styles, that was awesome. And then AJ's response this past Tuesday, I thought that was great. But the way I look at it is Shinsuke. He already has had a chance to win the title against Jinder Mahal, and they didn't pull the trigger that time. So I kind of feel it's ruined now to a degree. You know, obviously, if they would have waited and he'd never faced Jinder at all, and he was facing AJ for the first time at this particular event, then I'd be like, okay, then yeah, that's great. But you already had him in title matches and he lost. So I kind of feel like that means something at the end of the day. But no doubt about it, Shinsuke, I think, would do better to have that title around his waist. I guess it could help the character. But I just think AJ Styles has done a phenomenal job. He hasn't had his WrestleMania moment yet because you recall when he was at WrestleMania last time, he faced Shane McMahon. Prior to that, he faced Chris Jericho and lost that match. So I think AJ Styles retains. That's my pick. How about you, Adam?
Shinsuke. Shinsuke's going to win this. This is going to be an amazing match. I think they're going to go all out. If they're allowed to go all out, then it's going to live up to the hype, and it might steal the show. Because if anything, I think this should be the main event. Yeah, if they want people to go home happy, put this as the damn main event.
I agree. It should be the main event.
You know, so this is the one people really want to see when you talk about like all the main events and stuff like Ronda and Brock. We don't know this, but this is for the wrestling fan. You know, people that know Shinsuke and know AJ and like, yeah, they're gonna work in that match. They're gonna tell a story within their performance.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's gonna be it.
Okay, how about you, Dana?
The fans win. It literally doesn't matter. This is a match that we wanted, and it's going to be great. And I do hope that they are allowed to go full out. But I do see the fans are winning either way. But I am going to have to probably go with Shinsuke. I see Shinsuke winning.
Yeah, okay. And how about you, Gary?
See, this is the one match that you do not want ruined in any way under any circumstance. But I don't give Vince McMahon that much credit. I think he might ruin this match, whether by restricting the time or, you know, setting a specific set of rules that will kind of cripple what they want to do in the match and stuff like that. I feel like there's somehow, some way they might ruin this match, and I hope they don't. But I really can't think who should win. I want Shinsuke to win, but you know, in their match before at in New Japan, Shinsuke won. So I'm thinking maybe they might give it to AJ Styles just so he has, you know, a WrestleMania moment, because he's been with the company, you know, for a while now as one of the top guys. So I think there's a chance he could win. But I want Shinsuke to win.
Yeah, I feel exactly how you feel. Because I do want Shinsuke to win too. But yeah, AJ Styles, I don't really think he has that much longer left in terms of the time that he'll be active on that roster. Maybe another 2 years or so. So he don't really have too many opportunities to have too many moments at WrestleMania. But I mean, I could be wrong. He could last longer. As long as he takes care of his body, he can be there for another 5 years if he wants to. But
he says his whole thing is he wants to leave so he can be there for his kids. He doesn't want to miss games and things like that. His kids are getting to that age.
So it's definitely going to be sooner rather than later then.
Yeah, that's what he had said recently, because they asked him how much longer. He says within 5 years.
Okay, within 5 years. Okay, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, good picks all around. Very, very good predictions overall. including NXT and WrestleMania. I know we went a little bit longer, but obviously as expected because of all the stuff going on this weekend. But
Man, we didn't even get through half of. I mean, there's so much other stuff like this. All this stuff I'm watching now. Pentagon Jr. is in the match going against Austin Aries and Phoenix in a triple threat. This is a crazy match here. And then we have Ring of Honor that's doing one tomorrow. Then you have Evolve that's doing another show tomorrow. Then you have NXT doing a show tomorrow. It's like crazy. There's a lot of wrestling going on. And then of course Mania. It's just too much. It's just too much to cover. It's just a lot.
All day event Sunday. Looking forward to that. I know Dana says she'll be spending all day watching wrestling from the morning time till the evening. So, yeah. But that concludes our WrestleCast show for this evening. We thank you all for listening and for your continued support. Adam, do you have any shout outs that you would like to give?
Shout out to everybody that's listening, that's watching, that's enjoying just hearing about wrestling and chatting about wrestling. And that's it, man. Just keep it up, and we appreciate the support. And thank you. That's it.
Absolutely. How about you, Dana? Any shout outs you want to give?
Shout outs to everyone who's listening, who participated, who listens to us later, watching wrestling, watch all kinds of wrestling, all these different programs, and everything is out. But I want to give a very, very big shout out to Mark Henry. During the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, during his speech, he gave a very tearful, very passionate speech begging the WWE to induct Owen Hart, and that he deserved it. And he had tears in his eyes, and that he is very passionate about it, and he really wants him to be in there.
Wow. I gotta check that out.
To his bitter widow, get over it and let him be in. So yeah.
I agree.
Is it really though? I thought it was his family that were against all kinds of. Remember, there was lawsuits and shit. And
it's the widow.
It's the widow.
It's the widow.
Yeah, because I know even Brett said not too long ago they just get him in there. He said the widow is the problem.
She's blocking over because she has the rights to everything. So
yeah,
and the fact that you keep him away further, as the years go by, people don't know who he is. There's generations that don't know who Owen Hart is, and he's very talented, and you're going to lose that memory of him just because his wife is bitter.
Yeah, well, hopefully she gets over it like Leaping Lanny did, with Macho Man. Because remember, Macho Man wanted nothing to do with WWE, and if he was still alive, he would have not been in the Hall of Fame. None of this stuff would have happened. Leaping Lanny wanted to live by that after his death. But I don't know. They smoothed it out, and they said we're going to do it right. We're going to do a documentary about his life and this and that, and they did it, and he agreed to it, and there you go. He made it into the Hall of Fame. He's back in the video games,
Yeah.
So.
We'll see.
That whole thing was just so sad.
Because it's for the fans. That's the thing. It's at one point, and that's the thing that I would hope that if Macho Man was still alive, and he would understand. You had your differences. Look at Bret Hart. It's not about that anymore. It's about fans and your legacy, and you want to be remembered for your legacy of what you contribute to the sport. And this is the way to do it. This is where you started, and this is where people follow it. It's still the biggest show out there. So
yeah, very true.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to all the people that were listening to the show, whether you're listening now or later. We appreciate the continued support. I also want to give a shout out to Gary for staying up late to be on the show tonight.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. It's like 5 in the morning.
That's right. Over there. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, definitely got to get that shout out in there. So Gary, you have any shout outs that you want to give?
Yeah, man. Thanks for that. And I also want to shout out you guys. And thanks for finally letting me on the show. I actually really like this show, man. Like, this is probably my favorite show at the Koalition right now. So yeah, it's good to finally be here. And I can't wait for WrestleMania.
Absolutely. Same here.
Yep.
Yes. So thank you all once again for your continued support. Have fun WrestleMania weekend, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Yep. Later.